Cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave. I'ma get right. Get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
And best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up, world? We're back here. Let's Get Right Fantasy Network. Here on Wednesday, we're doing our buy, sell, trade show. We're here with my boy, Anthony. What's up, Ant? How we doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Still salty over that 0.14 loss, but, we'll get over it.
I don't even...
Eventually.
Shit. You are salty about it.
Yeah, bro. You ruined my perfect season. Like, literally, my perfect season ruined.
At least it was me. If somebody had it, anyways. You're not going to go defeated, man. So, yeah, tonight we're doing the show rundown here. We're doing a buy, sell, low roster management show. Thursday night football sit starts. We're doing injury news and updates. We're going to do myself and Anthony's top three trade targets. We're looking to buy and sell, and quick buy, sell, hold, quick trades, and of course the live Q&A after we do our show part of it. So start dropping your questions in the chat, and we'll get to them at the end of the show. If you want your question answered for sure, make sure that there's time in there. Drop a super chat. We really appreciate that. It supports the channel. We'll spend more time on your question and make sure we review everything you got to say. So what do we got going on this weekend?
Yeah, for sure, man. So, of course, we're dropping live content for you guys every day. We have, of course, the Get Right folks here going live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. You can take a quick screenshot or pause that and check out our weekly lineup. But basically, throughout the week, we're covering waivers, trade talks, roster management like we are tonight. Friday start sit, last minute active and actives on Sunday mornings. We have our boy Tycoon hosting the Fantasy Boardroom on Tuesdays. And then our other affiliate, Phil Ruskin with the Extra Point. He has two shows on Wednesdays and Thursdays, talking dynasty trades and player outlooks Wednesdays and prop bets and DFS on Thursdays. And then, of course, Kendall with the Fantasy Football Tavern and our boys, Jack and Cody over on the Sweet Life Pod. They're not doing live shows, but they will be dropping videos on the channel weekly as well. So we have a lot of different, analysts here giving you their takes, our takes here to help you guys throughout the season. So make sure you guys are hitting that like and subscribe buttons, and remember to turn on those notifications so you can stay up to date with all that. Just turn those notifications on. You don't need to know when. It'll notify you, and you can come in and hang out with us. And of course, our main thing is doing those live Q&A segments. That's what we love the most. So again, make sure you're checking out those descriptions if you want to bump around in the content, get to specific games or trade targets, buys or sells. Just go down there, check it out, because we will have those timestamps and chapters, and of course all the links for all of our affiliate channels here to subscribe to their direct shows as well. We have Augusta already in the chat here. Yeah, just a lot going on here. Get right, man, as we continue to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah, so new name for me. I'll get to it here just real quick. So I don't want him to wait, like an hour. He was the first one in. We'll give him this. He says his running backs are Hall, Kamara, Chase Brown, Dobbins, Hunt, Chubb, and his wide receivers are London Neighbors, Godwin, Pittman, Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and his tight ends are Bowers and Hawkinson, who we'll talk about here tonight. Would you do Deontay and Brown for DK? So Deontay Johnson and Chase Brown for DK Metcalf? I personally would. I'd actually rather prefer to send either Chubb or maybe Hunt or Dobbins over Chase Brown. I really like what Chase Brown is doing and kind of emerging over there. But I don't hate that at all. Like if that's the offer, if you don't mind moving him, I think it's definitely a nice trade. I do like DK. He might be somebody I'm talking about here tonight, but he's definitely been on my buy list here these last couple weeks for sure. So he says he needs to open up his.
I think it's a decent offer for him to send out over that way. I don't think he's going to be able to get anything for Hunt just yet till he actually get some playtime and things going on, right? I mean,
does a little more.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's going to sell that
and he
well.
says it is a 10-man. So yeah, you probably have to give Brown for DK, and I think that's definitely a nice thing. And more importantly, he says he has to kind of open up a space for Chubb and Hawkinson's coming off the IR. So it's not even necessarily that. Like basically, you're getting Chubb and or Hawkinson plus DK for Chase Brown and Deontay. So
Deontay Johnson,
yeah. So. And maybe Deontay's on my sell list here tonight too. So we'll have to tune in and check out.
He's got the other trade is Hall for Deontay for Barkley.
Oh, Hall and Deontay for Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. Oh, I'd go for Saquon Barkley, man.
I might do that actually, especially with Adams coming over there.
Number one running back right there.
Actually, I would kind of do that first and then see if you can maybe move like somebody else, maybe split up that Hunt and Smith-Schuster, and try to, maybe package him and Brown still pull off that DK trade as well too, and just maybe pivot to. I personally would actually pivot to Pittman. I would go Pittman and Chase Brown and get DK, and then Deontay and Hall and upgrade to Barkley, especially since Barkley's already done with his bye week. I would love doing both those trades, Augusto. So hopefully you get that done. We got Ravens in the house here, man. Saying what's up. He just pulled off a big trade. I don't know if last thing I asked him was what was the final deal, because we kind of been working on this the last 2 days. I'm on Sleeper. So there we go. You let me know, my guy. He says, can he get a mod? I think you've earned it maybe now, Ravens. You've been showing up to consecutive shows, supporting the channel, hit me up on the DMs. I might have to fire up the old YouTube studio and get you modded, but yeah, we'll get that in the works. Let us know what trade you had, Ravens. So anyway, sorry to derail the show there, man, but we're
let's get sideways already.
People, that's what we're here for, man. I saw Augusto in here, man. I like seeing new names. Of course, hopefully you're hitting that subscribe button for us, my guy, as we continue to go. So let's go. Solo Cup's in here saying turn them up. So you're up, man. The floor is yours. Let us know what you want to talk about, my guy. You got any trades? Let us know.
Solo Cup. Hey, what's up, dude?
For sure. So, of course, you can always send us super chats. Yeah, go ahead.
It's time for us to roll our sleeves up here. We got to get to work on some of our regular show stuff here. So let's start looking at the Thursday Night Football preview here. Well, first of all, you got bye weeks this week. The Cowboys and the Bears are on a bye. Thursday night sit start here. We got Broncos are 3-3 and the Saints are 2-4. They're opening right now. Denver's under by 2, over under 37, but currently is Denver is favored by 3, over under of 37 still.
It was when I was literally making the show sheet like 2 hours ago, like putting updating the spread. It was 2.5. And then literally by the time we went live, I checked it again just to be on the safe side, and it moved to 3. So I'm glad I did.
Moved over.
Yeah, I had to change the banner and everything.
Hold on, I'm just trying to start this stuff off right. So we got to be accurate here. We're trying to give you up to the minute information even here. So we got some injuries here in this game. We got Patrick Surtain, obviously a big one, concussion. He's out right now on the defensive side here for Denver. So that opens up some of the passing, for that. Carr has an oblique, so he's doubtful, and out was what does that know? Week to week, and now day to day. So we got Chris Olave. Yeah, I got it after that. I was like, okay, I see what's going on. Olave out with a concussion also. That's big down for him. That a lot of people are picking up the what's the name of that running back? Quarterback, or not quarterback, wide receiver over there at New Orleans.
But we're gonna get into all of them here.
Oh yeah, I forgot the guy's name. Rashid Shaheed, knee meniscus surgery out, possibly rest of the season for full repair. So that's all bad. And then we got Hill's out with ribs out here. Yeah, Taysom Hill. He's been banged up. So I know that once he gets back on the field, he's he's going to put some things together here, especially if Carr's still out.
Especially if everyone else is out. Like there's no Saints teams even playing. Like the Saints are like my fantasy team right now. Like this is exactly what my fantasy team looks like right now. Like all your starters out, just throw the backups in. Which brings me to my next point: is the only person I'm even comfortable starting in this game is Alvin Kamara. I mean, is there anyone else you feel comfortable with, like as like a no-brainer must start, like not even thinking about it? I can't even name probably half the people playing in this game.
I think I can think of.
So yeah, so really it should be short.
Next for the Broncos. I mean, I think you should give him a shot.
Not on a Thursday. I don't think so. The only people I'm comfortable playing is Kamara, Denver defense, and Saints defense. Like that's the only things that I feel comfortable playing. But yeah, so
that's the guy that's been picked up.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him right here. I got it. Trust your boy, man. I got you, Frank. I
can remember the guy's name though.
I know. I got you. So I want to start with Jawan Johnson though. Jawan Johnson, obviously with Olave, with Shaheed being out, he's the only one that is really considered a starter that's going to be playing besides, of course, Kamara here. So you would say, oh, okay, well, if Carr was playing, then, he probably has the most rapport with Carr. He's probably just going to lock in on him because he trusts him. But it's not Carr, it's Spencer Rattler. So, Rattler's probably actually been playing with Bud Means and Cedric Wilson and, Mason Tipton. If you guys didn't know, those are the 3 starting wide receivers for the Saints this week. I never heard of them until, Waiver Wire show this last week. So, I mean, yeah, you heard of Cedric Wilson Jr. He used to play for Miami. I mean, that's about all I know. So like, when it comes to this, like I'm not comfortable starting any of them. So pretty easy, for me there. Bud Means though did show well. He was kind of one of those guys we were talking about on the waiver wire ad. That's why his name was kind of trying to make his way in your brain there, Frank. Because of course, once Olave went out with that concussion, he bumped up to, from never playing more than even 10% of the snaps all year, bumped up to a season high 71% of the snaps, saw 8 targets, had 5 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown, finished with 15.5 fantasy points. They're in Tampa Bay. So, now again in Denver, it's nice that they're not playing against Pat Surtain. I usually don't put defensive injuries in the, show sheet, but this is a big one, because again, with people, I mean, only 2 teams on bye, but you have guys like CD Lamb, Rome, DJ Moore, like, Keenan Allen. Like if you're starting some of these guys, you might need to pivot to somebody. So there could be an opportunity here, but for the most part, I'm kind of staying away, but I definitely wanted to chat about him. So, I mean, you have Cortland Sutton, out there as well. He's been someone, people have been kind of starting week to week. Again, not high on my starts. I probably have him as like a low end wide receiver 3 or flex play at this point. And so, yeah, pretty much I'm looking to sit everyone else: Nix, Rattler, Javonte Williams, McLaughlin, again, Wilson, Tipton, and even Kroll, who took over for Greg Dulcich, just took his job, the new tight end over there, and even Devon Veal, even though he is a 6'5" slot receiver, which I thought was kind of interesting. And so we saw him kind of have a little bit of a role last week for Denver, and saw him kind of being added to rosters because he went 4 for 6 for 78 yards against the Chargers last week. Didn't score a touchdown, but again, 4 for 6, playing 62% of the snaps from the slot. Again, at 6'5", only 4% owned. So again, just these are guys that you're maybe stashing to kind of see how things play out, in my opinion. So what do you think about any of those guys there, Frank?
I'm literally looking at him right now with Cortland Sutton, Devon Veal, Troy Franklin. He's probably the only name I can't even recognize here.
Rookie, from your rookie draft. Yeah,
Marvin Mims, who's he had some spotted up last year a couple times, and we were looking at him a couple times, but it's just not looking pretty. It's not looking good. It's a coin toss, if anything, that you have any of these guys and produce anything for you. It's mostly sit. Mostly you kind of just watch the game, really. Like, stay out of the way on this. It sounds like
for sure. We probably already spent even too much time even naming all the guys off on it already. So, so we'll move on, man. Let's move on. Again, you guys can drop your questions here in the chat. We see you guys in there. Nino, what's up, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Warrior Loft in the house saying what's up. Ravens, we got your
I lost your audio, Ant. I don't know if you're aware.
Shaheed is out for weeks.
We lost your audio for a little while. So you want to
Oh.
repeat what you said there?
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now. So
Okay. Video might be
chats here. All right, that's
video might be trash, but as long as my audio is good. So yeah, Olave's in concussion protocol, but Shaheed is out for weeks, maybe even season ending, the rest of the season. Would you go with Olave or Shaheed? Since we're kind of talking about this game right now.
Olave.
Yeah, I mean, Olave is just dealing with a concussion.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of hate lower body injuries. I kind of hate that for Shaheed because he was doing so well. But yeah, hey man, it is what it is. We got Wicked in the house here saying some good looking gentlemen. Let's roll them sleeves up. So appreciate that. Wicked was had the game against Frank circled last week, or since the start of the season. He said ever since he gave him an F.
He said that.
Yeah, since he gave him an F on the grading shows during the summer. So he got in the listener league and had that game against Frank circled.
The revenge game
and took it down. So congratulations, Wicked.
Good for you. Good for you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. We got Double Down in the house saying, hey guys, glad to be here. And then, yeah, so we see, got your guys' questions here. World of Fuzz here. We'll definitely get to your questions here. And my camera's frozen.
Off here. He said someone dropped Olave on Wednesday morning. I can drop Shaheed for him. I would do it.
I would. Hey, somebody dropped him in our home league and I grabbed him off waivers. I was surprised. I don't know if anybody noticed.
Yeah, I didn't notice them all. I get too many freaking notifications nowadays to even try to keep up.
How do they say that on the old school Craigslist? Your loss is my gain or something like that. So there you go.
Yeah, you gotta do
that. And
appreciate
it. Yeah, camera's frozen. So as long as you guys can hear me, you don't need to see my ugly mug. As long as I'm not making a crazy face, I think we'll be all right.
Down, so it's all good. It doesn't even look that bad.
Just know
like the notes are still.
It's pretty much how I look the entire stream anyway, guys. So
yeah, keep dropping the questions. I am marking them. We'll get to them.
For sure.
We're just spotting in here and there on some of these things, but we'll definitely get to as many questions as we can as we go through towards the end of the show here, once we get through here. So we're moving on here on the parts here of the show. We wanted to come over the news notes and topics here, injury updates and things like that. So first of all, obviously, we want to talk about the big trade here with Davante Adams being traded to the Jets. I mean, I don't know, but this move seemed like it was preemptive. Like they're talking to Rodgers there, and Adams is like sneaking in on the background there on the video chat, and I'm like, this is too much. These guys are already over there. You know what I mean? Did you see that?
Nah, I heard on the Pat McAfee show though.
Yeah, dude. Dude's like literally walking into the background. I was like, these guys planned this out for like weeks. Right. They're already talking. I'm surprised he didn't share the playbook with them. As my girl was like saying, I was like, he can't do that. So how do you know he didn't do that already? So you get warmed up on the plays. You know what I mean?
Hey, as soon as the trade was done, he had that playbook. Because he was already in New York, like Tuesday morning. Like he was already there before they even announced it was done. So yeah, that was already in the works. Thanks. Yeah, it was already in the works. You know how it is for payroll. They just got to wait for payroll, get your game check, make everything clear, and switch right over.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
Don't get nobody in trouble here. I'm just here not to get fined.
Raven said, he flew out to New York Monday night. Yeah, they were at halftime. They called him and were like, "Get him here."
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just might as well come over here, get a place settled in, whatever.
Yeah, but for real, let's talk about it as fantasy outlook here. Get a little serious. Yeah. So when it comes to Davante Adams and obviously Garrett Wilson is who what this trade affects here, and obviously bump for Aaron Rodgers in your super flex type leagues or your 1 QB leagues. But when it comes to Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson, you're buying, selling, holding. Like, what are you doing with these guys right now? On the thumbnail we had the big question marks because I don't know where to put them myself at the moment. So
I personally feel that you could buy Garrett Wilson. Buy low on him. He went 8 for 107 on the Bills defense, and with Adams there, it should open him up some. And honestly, I would sell high on Adams because of all the hype that's going on with them and everything else that's going around there. He's actually had quite a big decline the last couple of years, and I know that it's the hype going over there with Rogers, but he doesn't look the same either, man. Like the dude's old. Obviously, he's got this whole white beard going on and everything.
Hey, hey,
And
hey, hey, hey.
he has moments. Hey, look, don't knock it, dude. I got a big old white head. Look at this. This is all white right here. Don't worry
Okay,
about that.
okay,
You know what
okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's all here. But what I'm saying though is there's moments he looks like Rogers of old, and there's moments that
He
you
looks
could
like old
see
Rogers.
you could see that he's an old Rogers. Exactly. So I would temper expectations. I think that it's a great opportunity to really sell high on Adams, or at least hold on to him if you feel that he can do be better here with the Jets versus where he was at. I really think that the Garrett Wilson will benefit from this, not just be detrimental for him, basically. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it will open him up. He won't have to take the number one, DB there, and have to defend that, and just basically just open up the receiving for him. It really hurts Lazar though. My guy Lazar, dude. It's a good time to
Yeah,
sell high
that's
on
tough.
him if you can, because Alan Lazar just will fade away basically. You know what I mean? He had that nice you know uh, Hail Mary catch touchdown situation that happened and all that, and then he's been doing all right, man. Like, honestly, you kind of starting to him. He gets a touchdown, 50 yards or whatever. It's okay, and but it's just crazy right now. Those are my feelings on it. What's your take on the guy here? You want to hold on to Adams? You want to sell him?
Yeah.
Uh,
Last thing I just want to ask you before I kind of give my take, as far as rest of season rankings, so to speak. I mean, I don't really like to kind of say rest of season, but where do you kind of see, maybe not ranked, this week, but what do you view Adams as? Is he, do you think he has like top 12 upside, for the rest of the season? Is he more like a, mid to late wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 2? Is he more wide receiver 3? Like, what kind of value are you kind of placing on Devontae Adams at this moment if you're trying to buy or sell him?
I'd say it's mid to low wide receiver 2
Okay.
at this point for me. That's just how I feel about it. I don't think he's it's just they're old, man. Like honestly, like again, he's been going. It's just been down the last few years. Production's been down. Everything he's got going on, it's just been down. And I think it's nice that he's over there with Rogers, and I think it'll help him. But I don't think it's going to help him so much so that he's still not getting out of that 2 area. You know what I mean? Like he's not a
Right.
number one. He's not going to jump all the way up to into the 20s or top 20s of the wide receivers. I don't think. You know what I mean? I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think it's just more so too because, I just think there's other wide receivers that just happen to be, in better situations that are younger, that we're expecting to possibly produce more than him. But I'm sure if you went and asked GMs like who, and if you even asked other wide receivers in the league, like who's the best wide receiver still to this day, or even more so cornerbacks, like who do they worry about the most? Guaranteed they say Devontae Adams at least in their top 3. At least.
Yeah, I just looked him up in this consensus ranking. He's like number 49 in half PPR. So it's like that's down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll kind of answer it and then kind of go into my quick take, which isn't too far off from yours. I kind of see him basically in the same spot. If I'm buying him, obviously I'm trying to buy him as like a low end wide receiver 2, 3. If I'm selling him, high end wide receiver 2, low end wide receiver 1. Naturally, that's what you want to try to do. But really just depends. I think because it's so all over the spectrum at the moment, because we've seen the duo and the highs that they've been capable of, it's giving you that inflation. But at the same time, again, you have some people who are suspect and, think they're maybe old, like you said, and, may not, that they're done and they're not going to be like they were. And so again, that's what you're buying, right? That's the risk you're assuming, that you're either trading away or trying to acquire. And it's going to go one way or the other. We're going to see it happen, and
and then one good point about that is like Henry, right? King Henry over here balling out, dude, and I'll eat some
all these
crow.
other young guys are hurt. Don't tell me it's just old guys.
I was like, this dude's old. I was like, I'm not even drafting that guy, and look at him, balling out like he's always has. So it can happen. You know what I mean? Like, the age is not necessarily always the factor. Obviously King Henry, obviously stayed in shape, and I'm sure Adams is too. You know what I mean? Like he's not He's never been a
Him as your
slouch. He's
RB2
always
overall
trained hard
in
and
PPR.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like the dude's old, but he's balling out.
Yeah.
And everybody else is just basically hurt. Like, you know, it's like kind of crazy.
That are all
So,
younger than him, right?
Yeah,
That are all younger than
exactly.
him. Everyone's like, oh, he's old, he's gonna get hurt. But
Yeah.
what's funny is the guys that are
Or he's
old,
gonna slow
Aaron
down
Jones,
or
like just
whatever.
got hurt, but like, you know,
Yeah.
who else are they saying is, you know, James Conner, like, you know, he's still
Yeah.
like
He's always
everyone's
hurt,
still good, but like Achan and all these other guys, you know, they're all hurt. I mean, CMC kind of, if you want to put him in there. Anyway, we're definitely getting derailed on that. But yeah, right in the middle of my take. But yeah, so that's where I'm trying to buy him. That's where I'm trying to sell him. If you know, again, if I'm buying or selling, that's kind of the values that I would expect. And so just kind of keep that in consideration when trying to buy or sell. You know, you have to be willing to go to that kind of low end wide receiver one price, I think, if you really want them. But hopefully, you know, if the person's maybe like me or someone else who is a little skeptical, you know, maybe you can pull out some mid to low end wide receiver 2 type value from him as well. And so, you know, and same thing, I feel like I'm buying Garrett Wilson. Like we all like T Higgins. So if I can, you know, turn someone else, you know, I mean, he's just going to be the wide receiver 2, not facing the coverage, you know, the number 1 coverage anymore. With Adams there, obviously eyes are going to be on Adams. So, you know, instead of Lazard running free for those touchdowns, it'll most likely be Garrett Wilson at this point. But then I think obviously Wilson is going to just bump, you know, Mike Williams completely out of rotation. And I think Lazard's going to earn that wide receiver 3 spot. Obviously, he didn't even practice today for quote unquote personal reasons after Aaron Rodgers just like threw him under the bus, which he should have done the organization a little better job and said, oh, that was my bad. You know, he ran the right route. He's good. It was just my fault. I didn't get him to him so they could trade and get him more assets. Instead, he's like, no, this guy sucks. He ran the wrong route. Get him out of here. Get Devontae here. Like Aaron Rodgers is such a diva, man. He's that guy's something else. Can't even help her brother out. Like they're literally bending over backwards, fired all this stuff.
Hashtag the flock.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's my Wilson Adams take on that. Let's move on now to Amari Cooper.
We get to see some more slot Garrett Wilson stock.
Yeah, you could see that happen as a lot of as well too, and they could put Lazard on the outside because he can definitely play that outside role and be very interchangeable. So let's just see if this, you know, if it gets a little exciting with the play calling. I mean, Nat Hackett's already been, you know, play calling duties removed. So, you know, we just need some more creativity in this offense, and you have the weapons now. Of course, Brees looked like Brees again. So if you're trying to buy him, hopefully you got him. If not, that window's probably closed after that performance, and Braylon Allen barely getting used, which was nice to see.
It's kind of, it's closed. Like somebody's like,
that window's closed.
Waiting for that to happen, you know, or, you know, it could be like, they're trying to sell high. Is like, oh, this is my opportunity to get rid of this guy because he may not do this again this year.
Yeah,
you know, it could be both ways.
So there we go. So there's our like 10 minutes on Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson and the Jets. So there we go. So let's talk quickly here. We won't spend as much time here on Amari Cooper being traded to the Bills. Obviously another big trade that goes down, but this is a trade show, so it's nice to talk about actual NFL trades, which help us, you know, kind of in our fantasy trade talks as well. But what do you think this does for Amari Cooper? You think this helps him, hurts him? Going over there to the Bills, do you think it makes a difference to his value, or does he kind of just stay even, or what do you think?
I think he stays even because obviously that who they have over there, but it does definitely help him having a better quarterback throw to him. I'm not a fan of Deshaun Watson, and possibly open up some opportunities for him over there with the Bills. I think that it also leaves room for Jerry Jeudy there at Cleveland, who basically will move into the number 1 slot there now that he's gone. Because Amari, you know, obviously was doing pretty good after he left Dallas there. But, you know, hopefully he has a second year, third year resurgence for his career over there, you know. But I think that'll be the last stop after that one. What do you think?
Yeah, and they're kind of talking up Cedric Tillman possibly over there. I remember they have Elijah Moore, but I think he did get hurt. They have a couple other rookies there, but I do really like, you know, David Njoku now. I think I like him as a hold with that fallout on the Browns side. And then, looking on the Bills side, the only thing that has me hesitant about Cooper is the fact that, I mean, Steph Diggs basically left because this offense changed and went more run heavy. I think they're the top 3 like most run heavy teams Obviously, we know Josh Allen's, throwing it or running it, not throwing it as much when they get like within the 3 or the 5. There's not really any play action. They're just literally ran a sneak, I think, from the 2 like twice, on Monday night, and got him in the end zone. So that's the only thing that worries me a little bit. But Cooper is capable of the big play. He has suffered from a little bit of drops. I think he's like top 5 in drops so far this year as well. So obviously being attached to Allen will help him, but I don't think he's going to see like 12 targets a game just being in the offense over here. Definitely hurts Keon Coleman, just in the thoughts of Coleman being the number 1 guy for Josh Allen and building that rapport and earning that spot. So obviously he didn't get there fast enough, which is why they went and grabbed somebody else to hopefully at least just open up the box a little bit. I don't know. I don't have the stats on 8-man boxes or anything like that at the moment for the Bills that they're facing. But you could see that being a potential issue because they have real no threat on the outside, at least going deep. Shakir works underneath, out of the slot. But other than that, we've seen, Coleman catch a couple deep balls, but he hasn't earned that respect around the league yet. So I think that's why Josh Allen's struggling and he's up and down. So, this is, I think, definitely going to help, having a legit alpha
wide receiver there. It just takes the touches away from Keon Coleman at the very least. You know what I mean?
He could be more efficient, though. Maybe more like a Brandon Ayuk or something like that. Maybe we see his efficiency because, again, you can't teach 6'5", 6'4", 6 dude.
Which is what I'm trying to do right now. I was trying to trade Anthony. I was trying to get rid of Ayuk, and he sent me a trade offer. I countered asking him for Amari.
Yeah, I know. So I have that there. I thought maybe depending on how much time we had left in the show, we might be able to work out a deal online here, or on the air. But we'll see. We'll see where we get to. That's why I didn't say anything about it yet.
Was going to have a great year. We all wish for the Bills, but I mean, most of these rookie guys, you gotta give them a year or two. I think it's like 3rd year breakout for wide receivers, right?
We're always too early because of what we do, man. I always feel like I'm a year early with everybody. Like Chase Brown, I had so much Chase Brown last year, and then he didn't pop off till this. I mean, we could go on and on about that. Anyway, all right. So we're only on our second news topic. So the other one is just Cam Akers traded the Vikings. We're not going to spend any time on that. But the only thing I want to say about that is maybe Aaron Jones isn't as healthy as we thought. They said, should be fine, but he didn't have practice today, which we'll get into here in a second. So all my Ty Chandler shares are getting real excited, depending on how this shakes out. So here we go. I tried to literally just keep these injuries to the ones that were like top 3 round type people, or people we were like starting, as top 36 players, and the list still is like super long. So I'll try to run through this as quickly as possible, just to give the folks the updates on where we're sitting as far as injuries heading into week 7.
Which is many.
And there's a lot
right now.
but a lot of people coming back. Some good news. It's not just all bad news. So some good news mixed in there. We got some people coming back, being eligible for off IR, 21-day practice windows being open. So we'll get into all that here right now. So let's do it. Patriots quarterback Drake May went for MRI after practice today. Just something to watch out for. He did log a full practice, but something's going on there. So let's make sure we just see what's going on there. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, he was a DNP today, listing as an ankle injury. We saw him kind of hobbling around. He'll be fine. He's playing with Adams. Like, they didn't just trade for him and he's going to miss the first game. So I shouldn't say this like live, but I would put a good amount of money on it that he's gonna play. Full disclosure. Panthers running back Jonathan Brooks. Here's some good news. Looks like they're opening up his 21-day practice window. They're considering him week to week. They're not rushing him back. Chuba Hubbard's been looking great. He's literally like a top 8 running back at the moment.
They have no reason to rush.
So really no reason to rush him back at this point. Just keep getting him better, get him worked in. He actually took some handoffs in practice today. They need to see him getting comfortable at full speed before they make any decision to get him any game action. So he's about 11 at the 11th month mark from the time he tore his ACL. So we all know it's about 10 to 12 months. A lot of people have been coming back, a lot quicker, not waiting till that 12. But I would say he's kind of right on schedule. Again, with this type of team, no need to rush him back. We just mentioned Vikings running back Aaron Jones dealing with that hip injury. He did miss practice day, which is the first practice coming off a bye week even, and still needed another day. So we'll see how this plays out throughout the week. He could be limited in full Friday and be good to go. But just keep an eye on it. We'll talk to you about it on Friday. Running back Travis Etienne, Jags running back Travis Etienne, dealing with that hamstring injury. He was limited today, not DNP, so maybe positive that he might actually go this week, but something to keep an eye on. Hamstrings have typically been costing folks anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks at this point. So again, just something to keep an eye on. 49ers running back Jordan Mason, he's been limited, dealing with that shoulder injury that cost him the second half of the Thursday night game. So just keep an eye on that. I know that we have a question in the chat that involves Mason in the trade, so we'll get to that shortly. We have Browns running back Nick Chubb also within his 21-day practice window. He was listed as a full participant. They mentioned last week that he was most likely going to be making his debut here this week, so they're saying it's definitely a good sign. And then, of course, with running back Jerome Ford dealing with a hamstring injury, he was DNP today, so not looking good for him. So we might have some Nick Chubb. Just be good to see after that injury to see him just coming back and getting a handoff again. Steelers running back Najee Harris dealing with some rib injuries. He was DNP today. Normally he gets a Wednesday rest day for vet day, but he was DNP because of the ribs. Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson dealing with that foot injury. He was still DNP, so keep your eye on that. Bills running back James Cook dealing with that foot and toe, like turf toe injury. He was limited today. Seems like he was pretty close to playing on Monday. But so just something to keep an eye on.
Let's go, Ray Davis.
Right? Or all the Ray Davis people are like, just sit out one more week.
Right.
We'll see what happens, right? So Dolphins running back Devon Achane was a full participant in practice today. They're saying that pretty much they're saying it's a safe bet that he's cleared concussion protocol. So just again, something you want to keep your eye on. But Devon Achane will be welcome back into fantasy lineups this week. Colts running backs Trey Sermon and Jonathan Taylor. Sermon dealing with the knee injury, not a shoulder, and Jonathan Taylor dealing with that high ankle sprain. They were both DNPs today, so we'll see what happens in that backfield. But Anthony Richardson looks like he's going to be a go here this week. Giants running back Devin Singletary dealing with a groin injury. He was limited today. The Tyrone Tracy owners are saying, just take your time, Devin, take your time. Sean McVay said about Cooper Kupp status for Sunday versus the Raiders, that there is a possibility that he will play, but they're going to see kind of how practice went today. But he is trending in the right direction, but they'll see exactly what that means as the week progresses. So again, could be some good news with Cooper Kupp coming back, but Puka Nacua is still going to be a few more weeks away. I've kind of heard like week 8, 9, 10, there's somewhere where they're expecting him. Jets wide receiver Devontae Adams, he was technically still limited with that hamstring injury. I saw reports where he was limited or full. Who knows? I think they just had a walkthrough because they're coming off Monday anyway. So I'm sure he's going to be fine, just like Rodgers. Giants wide receiver, another good news here. Daboll says Malik Neighbors is making good progress. Still in the concussion protocol. He was limited, as well as Wan'Dale Robinson dealing with an ankle injury. They both were limited today, but Neighbors could be coming back, which would be nice. Let's see. Debo Sam. I mean, there's so many injuries. This is crazy. 49ers and like big names. Like this is just crazy.
Yeah.
49ers wide receiver Debo Samuel dealing with the wrist injury. He was limited today. So I'm sure he'll be fine. He finished the rest of the game. Colts wide receiver Josh Downs dealing with the toe injury. He was DNP, so something to look at there. And then finally getting to our tight ends. We mentioned it earlier, but Vikings tight end TJ Hawkinson, his 21-day practice window opened up today. I heard they're basically in no rush to get him back in the lineup either. Obviously, Vikings are sitting at 5-0. They want him, for the stretch run to add another weapon to this passing offense. And we saw how he finished before, getting hurt last year, albeit with Kirk Cousins and not Darnold, but Darnold seemed to be doing just fine. So we'll see how that goes. That should be interesting. And then we have the Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert popped up with that hamstring injury this Sunday. He was a DNP today, most likely not going, which is great news for Arthur Wan and Mr. Devonta Smith. So I think that's it. That's finally felt like it was 20 minutes to read off all those injuries. Frank, why don't you tell the folks about our boys over at Underdog Fantasy?
I wasn't even ready, man. That was crazy. So much just happened. I'm over here trying to just just take it in here. What's going on?
It was a lot, right? Yeah, rewind if you need to.
Let's talk about here. Our boys over here at Underdog. It's the best place to play your fantasy sports. Best place to go and do your best ball during the off season. We do a lot of those live draft tournaments here on the channel, so come join us for those. Best ball leagues are easy. You just draft it, set it, forget it. The team, no long-term commitment, no waivers, no trades, and no weekly lineup setting. So you can literally draft hundreds of teams. I mean, I've done the most this season. I know Anthony was trying to get 100, right, or something like that.
I was trying to hit 100, but I only got to 64. So
yeah. So you can do plenty of those, and not even have to worry about it. You just go check them like every so often to see how you're doing. So it's really fun. Really helps you prepare for the full season here. Really grasp the ADP value of the people and just know when you're able to pick up players. Really, honestly, it really helps a lot. The other thing that's going right now is the pick'em contest was really great. You simply pick higher or lower on player stats like total yards, touchdowns, things like that, and you stack them up and you get multipliers on that. So go sign up, use the promo code GetRight. Underdog Fantasy. You'll receive a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 bonus cash. And currently we have a special going on with Bo Nix. You pick them early, set them set as a plus or minus half a total yard until Sunday. So
until Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay.
And if you're watching this after Thursday,
it is Thursday,
it's
right?
Aaron
That
Rodgers.
Yeah. And then it's Aaron Rodgers after that. So visit underdogfantasy.com or just download the app. It's the fastest growing fantasy app out there in the store. So make your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code GetRight and get in the pickup contest today.
Let's do it. Time to do it. All right. So let's move on here, man. Let's talk some trade targets. So Frank, get your list ready. We'll discuss Frank's top 3 players he's looking to buy low on. So without any further ado, let's talk about him. Who's number
some
1?
Guys. I kind of mentioned some of those guys earlier. I mean, we kind of mentioned Garrett Wilson due to the situation. I'll move over to Demario Douglas, which is a guy I seen you pick up off the waiver wires. I mean, he's doing good. Wide receiver 10 finish in half APR, logging about 6 catches for 92 yards on 9 targets in the score against Houston. So he's looking pretty good. Another guy I'm looking at is Anthony Richardson coming back, taking over. I know that it's kind of crazy that they're starting him over Joe Flacco. But I mean, they got to get this rookie going. He did incredible things last year. I drafted him this year and expected more, but hopefully he gets it straightened out over there. And another guy that we kind of mentioned earlier was Jerry Jeudy, the Cleveland Browns there, benefiting from Mari Cooper being traded out, albeit still going to be, I think, wide receiver 2 numbers, but just because of the offense that he's at over there. But I mean, if you need somebody, he's probably widely available, and you could get him easy. You know what I mean? Like those are some of the 3 guys that I'm looking at to buy low.
Okay, so not like your blockbuster type guys, but these are guys that could potentially fill in, especially for bye weeks here. You're not going to have to trade, one of your top picks and get all crazy like that. Maybe just some bench pieces can move around, and you can find some advantages there. Obviously, just buying low on Richardson, we all were drafting him, kind of assuming he could have the potential of QB1 overall. So I like that call there. And then Demario Douglas is sneaky little pick now with Drake May. That's why I was saying just kind of keep your eye on that Drake May news. And I also think an interesting buy too. I don't know if he's officially going to make my list, so I'll just kind of say it here since you mentioned Douglas. Is Ramondre Stevenson, and for the same reason, that offense was projected to be terrible with Brissett. It was, but we saw Drake May come out with the same offense, same weapons, and lacking even the same line. And we all thought he was going to get killed, and had one of the better fantasy days and made some other guys relevant. It wasn't Jalen Polk. It wasn't Javon Baker. It was actually Demario Douglas. So, and Hunter Henry, of course. So I like those guys. Nice call there, Frank, with your top 3 buy lows. So now we will get on to my top 3 players I'm looking to buy low on. The first one is Chris Olave. Obviously, with Rashid Shaheed being potentially out for the season, you can just imagine the amount of targets that he could get here. Just being the complete, really only trusted quote unquote source or design type play guy. Again, we talked about earlier in the start sit, the other wide receivers for New Orleans, we can't even name them. So I like that. He is dealing with the concussion right now too, and they're playing Thursday night, so he should be easily attainable. And he was already kind of not a lot of people's favorites, anyway. Obviously, Saints started off hot, 2-0, and have since come crashing down with 4 straight losses. So he could be there, for you to get. Again, he's being dropped in a couple leagues, as we heard earlier. So if you can trade and get him low, then I wouldn't mind taking that chance. My other buy low that I'm going to go with here is going to be one of the guys that had last week. He's also still in the concussion protocol, Marvin Harrison Jr. I have to assume things, will get better and continue to get better for him while you have a chance to get a guy that could be, top 12 wide receiver overall, and get, the target share and eventually get there. Obviously took a brutal hit last week, but I'm still, trying to acquire MHJ if I can. And then the last guy I'll go with is going to be Tyreek Hill. I kind of mentioned just any of the Miami players last week, H.A.N. Hill, Waddle. But yeah, I think, Hill seems to be on the move. We're only maybe a couple more weeks away from Tua being back, or just, for the back end of the season, Hill could be that guy that can bring you home a championship. So yeah, I'm going to go with Olave, MHJ, and Hill. Now, if I'm kind of cheating because I used two of those names last week, so I'll throw in Stevenson and maybe somebody even like CeeDee Lamb if you want to go for a little bit higher for those buy low candidates heading into week 7.
Nice.
There we go. All right, so we'll move on. Who do you have as your sell highs?
I'm selling high on Mark Andrews, man. He just had a good week, has some decent good games, and he's just been having a hell of a year this year. And I think that you still get some name value out of him right now, and basically just go ahead, play the waiver wire game with the tight ends, or maybe even land some of these guys that are up and coming. And
maybe you picked up Kraft.
Yeah, exactly. I literally just. That's literally what I was about to say. Is like some guys like Kraft or something like that, that have better opportunities or just producing better numbers, or even Ertz in Arizona has just been consistent over there. But I think he's hurt now. Didn't he get some kind of injury situation going on with him? But just a good guy to sell high on. J.K. Dobbins, another guy, just because of injury prone. We just seen his counterpart go ahead, guys get hurt, and anything happens there, Kamani Vidal is waiting in the wings there to take over. So another guy maybe you could sell high on. And lastly, Justin Fields, which is kind of obvious, I think, is I think that Russell Wilson's going to get the start. They've been practicing him, they're working him in, and I think that the Justin Fields show is nearing its end. And some guys may want to hold on to him or keep him. And I'll throw one more in there is Michael Pittman Jr. there with the Colts, because Anthony Richardson is going to start. Pittman thrived under Flacco, but with Richardson, not so good numbers. And I think that's a good time to sell Pittman high because he's had some good, decent weekends. Yeah, Josh Downs is there. Well, yeah.
Throw them all in there.
Yeah, because Richardson with his run in and so on, the wide receivers just get hurt over there. Just hurting numbers, you know what I mean? So those couple guys that I'm trying to sell high on. You had some good decent weeks out of them, and they got good name value. You should be able to get something decent.
There you go.
He's even saying I might drop Mark Andrews in one of my 10-team ESPN leagues. Yeah, you could do it in a 10-teamer, possibly. But kind of rough.
Yeah, he was dropped in 12 teamers, man, a couple of weeks ago. So the fact that he held on this long, hopefully got a couple games out of him. But yeah, it's a tough call. I really had to make a decision today. Luckily, not only was Olave on the wire, I had Ferguson and I needed a tight end, and Evan Ingram was still there. So I was able to grab Ingram, but I didn't want to drop Ferguson. So I actually I forgot who I dropped, but I dropped somebody that I was kind of like, I kind of want to keep this guy, but I didn't really need him anymore since I had Olave. I think it was Coleman actually. So I dropped. But, yeah. So
it's okay to move on.
I eventually was like, all right, yeah, I got it. Because I know if I put Ferguson out there, he'd be picking up right away.
Oh yeah,
but I mean,
Ferguson
Ingram was out there. But we do play with like 3 Cowboys fans in the league, so Ferguson probably would have got picked up real quick.
He's good, dude. He's good. Yeah. Though. I mean, come on. It's not like he's not good.
No, hey, I have him, so you don't have to tell me. Exactly. All right, so I'm the one who drafted him, so you don't have to tell me. So we got my top 3 players to sell. I'm looking to sell Diggs. Obviously, with Collins, I couldn't think of his name for a moment. Geez, you don't play for like 1 week and I already don't remember your name. He's like the wide receiver 2 overall. Jesus. Gosh, man, yeah, so many injuries, man. It's crazy,
right? It's
wide receiver 3.
News already gone.
Yeah, exactly. So wide receiver 3 still in PPR. This is how good he was. Didn't even play a week and is still wide receiver 3 overall.
The numbers are still up there, right?
Yeah, remember when Henry did that? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So yeah, Diggs. Collins is going to come back. When he's dealing with this hamstring injury, he'll be back. Diggs has been, playing well while he's gone, obviously with, Mixon back as well. He had the big game.
And Dell so has as well.
Yeah. And he had the big game. Fairly big, I think close to almost his max points. But 6 catches on 7 targets, 77 yards and a touchdown. Played 79% of the snaps, actually one of his lowest this week. But I think that's because, the game kind of got out of hand versus New England 41-21. So he probably didn't play towards the end. But, he's coming off of, 4 straight double-digit games. He's only scored 1 touchdown in those double-digit games, has seen 12, 9, 8, and 7 targets, respectively. It had 10, 5, 6, and 6 catches. When Collins comes back, with I think Dell getting a little more healthy. Again, he was shot in the offseason on top of, coming back from that, fractured fibula. So I just think it's taken him a little more time, but we know CJ Stroud likes to throw to him. So I think that'll open up later. And I just think, he may be phased out. Maybe he doesn't, but if I can, move on him now, I would. I'm not just getting rid of him because I don't like him, but if you can sell high and trade yourself, up into, a better piece, obviously, CD Lamb or someone like that, maybe they think they're struggling. You can get a stuff. I don't think you can get that done, of course, but like, you know what I'm trying to say, that type of that caliber of player. I honestly don't think I would mind trading Diggs for like Garrett Wilson, just straight up. I think with Wilson being the number 2 over there versus a 3-headed monster, here in Houston, that would be something I would entertain as well too. I'd feel a little more comfortable. So that may change next week. So don't hold me to that. I still want to see this Rodgers, Wilson, Adams love triangle happen. I can't wait. So that's only one. Let me hurry up and get through this. Somebody else I'm selling high on here is going to be James Conner. I don't know what happened kind of towards the end of the last game, but we saw Benson kind of come in, take over a little bit. More maybe just the game flow or whatever was going on, but I haven't really seen anything about an injury or anything with him. But so who quite knows? So if you have a chance to still move on from him, especially while there's no like news on him right now, maybe you have a chance to kind of include him in a package to move on. I wouldn't mind turning Connor into like Chase Brown and something else, or Connor and something for Chase Brown and something else. That's something that someone that maybe might be going down for someone who's on the rise like a Chase Brown. And the other guy I'm going to sell high on, man, is Deontay Johnson. I knew it wouldn't last, so to speak, with Andy Dalton. I just still don't trust this offense completely here. Will they go back to Bryce Young at any certain time? So I think while you have an opportunity to sell Deontay, I would. Again, I'm not just giving him away, but if I can include him to, really upgrade into their package or, to turn him into a running back if you really need a running back. But, he is coming off a 6-catch, 78-yard and touchdown game, 19.8 full PPR points against Atlanta. I did have the bad game against Chicago, but most wide receivers do. And then, 2 previous 20-point games against Las Vegas and Cincinnati. But again, we saw when he was playing with Bryce, it was 3.9 and 4.5 in full PPR against New Orleans and the Chargers, not against the Chicago. So he'd be looking, he's someone I'm looking to definitely to sell if I can.
Yeah, which is crazy because I know that the Red Rocket over there, I mean, he had that good first game coming out, but then, kind of showed his colors why he's a backup now everywhere else. And it looked like Bryce Young may be able to get his job back. I doubt it. I think they need to move on from him altogether.
Those D coordinators needed to dust off that Red Rifle scouting report, and once it circulated and they put the defense against them, they remembered how to defend.
How to defend him.
He's a backup for a reason. Yeah, he's a backup for a reason.
And the other thing is like I looked up the stats or some numbers, and like literally Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence are like neck and neck with the same numbers, which is crazy because I don't know how Trevor Lawrence keeps getting the start regardless of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's like 6'6" and has that flowing hair, and he looks like a franchise quarterback. So they're gonna give him when you're that tall and you have that like physique. I mean, Bryce Young, he looks like, you know, me and you. Like I think he's shorter than me actually. You know, but
yeah, he's shorter than you. He's probably my height.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like that, but you know what I mean. Like he's just like a regular guy, like so to speak. He's not like a 6'6" like Greek god, so to speak. That will, you know, that they're just like, well, there has to be potential there, right? Like we're gonna stick it out. Like if he's not showing some flashiness, you know, then they're gonna move on from him right away. So well said. I have a couple other just honorable mentions, and I'll let you throw in some honorable mentions if you want as well. But you know, any of these guys that have, you know, these RB2s that have maybe fallen into a role, you know, if you can turn them into a Bijan, a Brees, you know, upgrade these guys, you know, I would, you know, definitely entertain something like that. You know, Bucky Irving, you know, Ray Davis, Tank Bigsby. If you can get off Chuba now before, you know, Brooks gets back, to include him for someone who's maybe needs to win in the next couple of weeks and can't, you know, wait, you know, later on, you know, definitely try to off guys like that. To where they can kind of come back down to earth, because again, they're filling in for injuries that may not be season ending. Now Bucky's a little different. You know, he may have earned the number 1A role, but from everything I kind of read, they said, you know, if White comes back, he might be the 1A to the 1B and 1C, with even Sean Tucker in that backfield. So they're saying he could be the leader of a 3-headed backfield. I think that's what it kind of says even on Sleeper. So
which is terrible.
Yeah, so you know, you kind of want to stay away from that. So if that is the case, I'm trying to move off Bucky.
Nowadays we're living with the, you know, running back by committee, but just for 2. But now if you throw in 3, good luck. You know, it's like
no, you're really not getting anything. So again, Ray Davis, again, sell him to the Cook owner, somebody else, if you can, you know, while you can. And then I had Andrews and, you know, my usuals, Harris, and you know, I'm just always trying to move off Pittsburgh.
Well, I got one more for you here before we close out this segment. Running back Tyrone Tracy, the Giants, once Neighbors and Singletary are back, Tracy will take a hit. Peak value is this week, so high. Yeah.
There you go. There it is. All right. So we will move on here to our buy, sell, or hold segment, and then we'll get to your questions. So make sure you start dropping any questions.
For you. Keep dropping the questions down, because then we're going to get to that. Try to rip through those as well. We're already almost an hour into this here, so go ahead.
For sure. Good time though. I mean, we, even with all of our sidetracks, I think we would even been done a little sooner. Right? I mean, we spent like 15 minutes talking about Devontae Adams, so you know, we cut that out. We're making good time.
News. No, that was big news.
No, it was. We needed to talk about it. Yeah, for sure. So speaking of which, he's actually the number 1 most traded player here on this CBS most traded roster trends you know, website that we kind of use for this buy, sell, hold segment. So again, shout out to them. He's coming in as the most traded person right now, and I think it's, you know, for the reason we have, you know, on the thumbnail. You know, we don't know if we're buying or selling, so there's definitely movement that can happen, because there's people that either like it or don't like it, and that's, you know, that's the kind of Pandora's box that we live in, you know, to make trades happen. So as far as I'll hit you one more time with it to get your, you know, official. Now that it's all kind of sinking in through the whole show, are you buying, selling, or holding Devontae Adams?
I actually have him on a team I just got. And quite honestly, I probably would still just sell him. Sell high if I could. You know what I mean? Like, I almost want to sell him before he even plays, just because of the hype. You know what I I mean?
Right.
In case he doesn't have a good game, I'm not sure if he
gets hurt
this week, or he gets hurt. Because I'm not sure if he even plays this week, or when he does play, you know, how good or efficient he will be. Again, I was mentioning how his numbers are down. Players traded to other teams is not always.
I hate to do it, but we already spent 15 minutes on Devontae Adams. I don't want to spend 15 more. Yeah. So we'll fly. I'm
selling.
All right. So you're selling. You're selling. So again, we'll run through these. Tyreek Hill, buy, sell, or hold.
I'm buying.
I'm buying
hopefully
too.
It comes back with Tua comes back. Things will get better.
I'm buying too, but I'm not like giving like anything good. Like I'm trying to get a nice package of running back.
Get a couple wire guys and throw them at him.
Nah, a little better than that. Like, I'll give, like Michael Pittman and Chase Brown, like something like that, maybe a little better, but something in that range. Like, would you do BTJ and Chase Brown for Tyreek Hill?
Ooh, I don't know if I want to give away.
That's a good one, huh? That's a good one. Yeah,
BTJ, like Chase Brown, I could move on, but BTJ,
but you're getting Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that's. I don't know.
That's almost the perfect thing for you. Like you like BTJ, but you like Hill better, and you don't mind losing Chase Brown. So
I don't mind losing Chase Brown. I do mind losing BTJ.
But you're turning him into Tyreek Hill. You're not losing BTJ. You're getting a way better
Tyreek when he finally does have Tua.
But you won't be able to get him then. You got to buy him now, and you got to deal with the couple down games.
I'm not moving on BTJ. Right now, I'm holding BTJ.
There it is. Buy, sell, or hold BTJ.
It's a stronghold on that dude right there. He's solid, man. He's solid. He's been very solid. So I don't want to move away from him.
Oh, that's funny.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like going from like Steady Eddie to the boomer bust player. You know what I mean? Because that's what Tyreek is right now. It's a boomer bust. And I think I feel like Steady Eddie's like more my speed right now. Right? You know what I mean? Like,
there you go. All right, Kareem Hunt. Buy, sell, or hold Kareem Hunt.
I'm selling.
Coming off the buy.
I'm selling.
Waiver wire guy into something good.
I was just about to say, CEH just came back to the team.
Good call.
You could,
rapid fire,
get something good for him. I mean, he had a good week. Before he plays again, see what happens. I mean, like, running back.
Buy, sell, or hold Scary Terry.
Yeah. Ooh.
Terry McLaurin.
I think I'll hold on him. Hold on.
Terry McLaurin. Hold. I'm even looking to buy Scary Terry right now. Actually,
really? Even buy him?
I had him as a sell. I think in the last show. I think he'll come around, man. Like more I watch, Jaden Daniels, man.
Jaden Daniels is the real deal, though.
He's the truth, man. There, yeah. He looks nice. He didn't have just some of that like quick Justin Fields, like, just a little splash, but I mean, this guy's throwing the ball nice. He's making good decisions, high completion percentage. So Scary Terry. All right, so rapid fire. Tony Pollard, name I've heard kind of flow around a little bit here. Tony Pollard, buy, sell, or hold Tony Pollard?
At this point, I think he's a hold. I think he's earned his spot. Too bad he didn't do that in Dallas. I don't know why. We've had just a line. And just couldn't get it done when we gave him the opportunity to be the lead. But next, he's over here just pulling it off. I honestly stayed away from him because I thought he wouldn't be able to pull it off, and people were waiting in the wings. So he's a hold now.
For sure. And guys, if you're in the chat, let us know if you're buy, selling, or holding these guys as well too. We want to know. Ravens is here saying sell and buy. I don't know who it was, so just put the name after that.
Sold Adams for Reek.
We're gonna get to his trade
in a second. About the segment already.
There you go.
He wants to know about that other one.
So he's saying because it's all in line with the guys he was buying and selling.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like right when we were saying.
All right, Rico Dowdle. Speaking of Cowboys, buy, sell, or hold.
I'm holding. Okay. He's been earning the spot. He's getting more carries. Literally, other than last week's terrible game, but it was a terrible game for the whole Dallas team. But prior to that, he's been earning more and more carries, looking better and better. I'm holding on to him. I think if you sold him, you're not going to get much anyway. So I mean, why bother?
Yeah, I mean, he's like one of those pieces you can include. I think he has enough value, like you're saying, because you want to hold him. So it's going to be like a Dowdle and BTJ for Tyreek Hill. Like, you know what I mean? It needs to be something like that.
Yeah.
I think he has that. You want to see a couple more games. Have out a rushing touchdown, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, buy, sell, or hold Tank Dell.
I'd sell.
Selling?
Because Nico Collins is coming back. He'll be delegated in the third, role after Diggs. Sell high.
Buy, sell, or hold Brandon Ayuk.
I'm selling, as you know. We should get that trade done.
We'll talk about it here in a second. We'll see. All right. I'll do just a couple more. Buy, sell, or hold Bucky Irving, who we just kind of talked about.
I'm selling also. The three-headed monster situation doesn't sound like a situation I want to be in.
Buy, sell, or hold Tank Bigsby.
See, he's even sell it. You sell Dell. He's right there with me, man. I'm telling you.
There you go.
Tank Bigsby, same situation, man. I would sell. So why?
Buy, sell, or hold DeAndre Swift on a bye week. playing well.
He's been playing well, and
Another
that's
big
the
game.
scary part. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to hold him? I think I might just hold him. He might pull it off. He might pull it off.
He has a 29.5 game against the Rams,
we gotta
20
look at
point
the
game
rest of
against
the.
Carolina,
What does he got? rest of the season?
21.9 versus Jacksonville. Comebacks gets Washington, Arizona, New England, Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, San Francisco. Playoff schedule is at Minnesota, home against Detroit, and home against Seattle. That's the only thing that
Dude,
sucks.
that's the rough part. Yeah.
Well, Detroit, no Aiden Hutchinson, no other D linemen. They're hurting. They're looking to actually get Hassan Reddick over there, possibly. They're inquiring about him from the Jets. But maybe now with Devontae Adams, that actually helps Hassan maybe sign, and maybe he takes a little less now that Adams is there, and they could maybe win a Super Bowl or make a run. So we'll see. But yeah, Chicago, man, in week 16 and 17, that's going to be tough conditions to play from.
Yeah,
I'm looking to
yeah.
sell DeAndre Swift if I can.
Yeah. He's holding over here.
There we go. Hold Swift. All right. And Tingley said, "Oh, wrong, not wrong. No, definitely not wrong. Kind of question, man. We answer all questions, man, at all times. We're here for you.
It's up here. We'll get to you.
If you feel really bad, I mean, you could throw us a super chat, and then you don't have to feel bad for asking any question you want.
Anyway,
and we'll get to it first. You'll skip everybody in the line if you want to throw us a super chat as well. If not, just hang around. We'll get into live Q&A. Literally, like right now. There's other people here, but I think we hit some of the top names there and covered a lot of them while we were chatting. So I'll let you off the hook there. But good stuff there, Frank. Good stuff. All right, so let's get to while I get this all switched over. Go ahead and scroll up to the top, Frank, and start picking out some questions that we'll get to here.
Just get to that section. I don't even have to scroll.
Oh, there you go.
To the start section now.
See, we got it. We got it there. So just so you guys know,
almost like we know what we're doing.
Right? We're getting there. We're getting there. Just so you guys know, the live Q&A section is brought to you guys or us from our boys over at TrophySmack.com. If you don't know what TrophySmack.com is, they are a customizable, not only for fantasy football, for any fantasy sports or really any sport, you can get anything to commemorate your win. Anything from a customized chain to an awesome ring, fully customizable. Of course, they have belts, and then, of course, a ton of different, standard trophies like this. Again, all fully customizable, interchangeable. We did our 1,000 subscriber giveaway through them as well, too. And we'll do another one at 2,000. So make sure you guys are hitting that like and subscribe button for us. But more importantly, use the link down in the description to go to TrophySmack.com. Use that promo code GetRight on checkout and help support the channel and get an awesome prize for your fantasy league, man. Awesome. I'm looking at two belts and a ring right here, so believe me, it's nice to have the hardware.
Belts are nice to have, and so these customizable rings. And I got a shout out to a guy I seen in Reno last year that he was literally walking around with one of the Trophy Smack trophies, and another guy that I went to a ball game, and he had a license plate thing around the license plate where it said, "I suck at fantasy football."
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
Around with I suck at fantasy football for like a year. Could you imagine having to drive around with that? No, dude, no, I'm not doing that. It's like one of the worst thing they could have.
Definitely having being the CEO of a fantasy football channel, like I could not have that for my street cred as my license plate. So that wouldn't work out very well. We wouldn't be at 1.3 thousand subsubscribers. So there we go.
That's not good.
There we go. Good stuff. All right, so let's get to some questions here, man.
Earlier on the show, so you could go back and check that out to review his questions about Deontay Johnson and DK. But we go back over here to Smokey the Cat here. Should I drop Ridley and start stash running backs like Benson? I guess I see more upside on Benson than Ridley.
Agreed. Simple yes for me.
Yeah.
Ridley's been sitting on our waiver wire in our league for like 3 weeks now or longer. No one's touched him. no one's even touched him. So
yeah.
I like Benson. Like I said, we were just talking about Connor losing some snaps to him, and we'll see. Maybe the change is coming, but I think it might have just been the game. I'm still pretty safe with Connor, but anything were to happen to him.
Yeah, that's you're gonna go after that. I don't see how to say this guy's name. World of
Goozy, I guess.
Anyway, so he just traded with Josh Allen, Monty, and Ayuk for Mason, CMC, and Mahomes. I have JD5. How does that sound? A good trade? Josh Allen, Monty, and Ayuk for Mason, CMC, Mahomes. I'm not doing
Because
that.
he's 3-3, and his starting running backs are Henry and Kyron. Josh Allen, Monty.
He's like literally the best fantasy value guy this year.
Yeah, he's a league winner for sure.
Like where you drafted him at for what he's producing, the numbers and the schedule that he's got coming up. Yeah, no, that's a no for me.
My guy. Yeah, man. I don't know if I like that trade, but hopefully it comes back, man. You see the hat. Obviously, I'm rooting for you. For Mason and CMC, at least you got them both. You kind of you kind of sold low and bought low with Josh Allen, so to speak, like to get Mahomes. Like you might as well just stick with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I assume maybe this trade happened after or before the Cooper news, which kind of stings a little bit more. I could see how, there's a couple people that I know that kind of traded Josh Allen in between the time from that Monday night game and then the Cooper news breaking like the next day. So
they're like, we need to get this guy some help.
Yeah. So it was a little rough there, but yeah, man, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you straight, man, not feeling it as much. Again, you do have JD5. So again, having Mahomes isn't great, but like, I felt like you gave away Monty for a combination of Mason and CMC, who are both hurt right now that might not even play this week. And Monty's like literally a set it and forget it guy. And if anything were to happen to Gibbs, like this guy is literally like RB1 on this offense and just got paid. Like they just paid him as a running back in the middle
2-year extension, literally in the middle of
18 million. Like he's like up at CMC type level now. Like what he means to this. Like they're not moving. This is not gonna to me, that pay actually hurts people like talk dynasty more for Phil's channel, but I think that really hurt the Gibbs value long term. Because I'm sure a lot of people thought maybe they would just move on from Monty and just hand it over to Gibbs next year, but he ain't going anywhere anytime soon, and Gibbs will be, basically where Monty is now, kind of on the upper side, not in his direct prime, and never going to get a full workload there. So, unfortunately, I do like the other side a little better, man. I can see if you're trying to get off Ayuk, but yeah, man, I think I'd rather have the Allen, Monty, Ayuk side there.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out, bro. Hopefully it works out.
And Allen a lot better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, but if CMC comes back and just blows it up, dude, it's gonna be
it was a nice trade.
It wouldn't even matter, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Nino coming over here.
I think maybe just the way they came in starred, but I'm on the other side to make sure we don't miss a super chat.
We'll get back to it. Don't worry about it. You stay on the other side. You stay on the other side. I'm staying on this side where I started. Some people traded Mike Evans and Tank Dell for AJ Brown. What you think? Like I said, I got Saquon, Brown, stack, and now I have a wide receiver room looks crazy now with CD, AJ, and Cup. So he traded my Evans and Tank Dell for AJ Brown. Yeah, I don't mind it.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't like that you like purposely went and seeked out the AJ Brown and Saquon stack like with the Eagles.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was nice. I really like the fact that they're done with their bye week, so you don't have to worry about that. So they're pretty much set and forget. I mean, hey, if you're not set, somebody else would be.
You'll be good, yeah.
Yeah.
But usually in redraft leagues and things like that, it's not always the best to stack.
The wide receiver, running back. It's not the end of the world, but
do that in best ball. But yeah, But since they passed their bye week, at least you got them past their bye week, which is what you really want to do at that point, because then you don't want to have to worry about having two guys down.
Right.
Raven Shalios is a Delta Wade, Devontae Adams, and Ramonde and Dowdle, and a 2025 7th round pick for Tyreek Hill, Jalen Warren, and a 2025 4th round pick. So he's obviously in a dynasty league here situation, right?
It's a keeper league.
It's a keeper league. That's okay. Yeah. That's so okay.
Yeah, this is one we've been talking about for a couple of days. Yeah.
Devontae Adams, Ramonde, and Dowdle.
I didn't know what the final deal was, though, so I just saw it. Obviously, I read it earlier, but I'm reacting to it for the first time now live. He and I haven't talked about it on text.
What do you think?
So this is actually a trade I was kind of assisting him with. He came to me with the structure of the trade, and we kind of kept tweaking it, talking some things out on who to include, who not to include. Originally, the guy wanted Adams and Chase Brown and somebody else, another running back like Dowdle and somebody else. I told him no, swap out, for Ramondre and get Dowdle in there instead of Chase Brown and whoever else I think it was. And then I told him, and that was for just Tyreek Hill. He wanted all 3 for Tyreek Hill. And I was like, no, you need to get at least some type of running back, even though his running backs are still stacked in this league. But you still just want that, that depth piece. So he had Swift and I think somebody else and Warren. And I was like, don't go after Swift because obviously he's trading for 2 running backs because he only has Swift, who's not great anyway. So just go after Warren. And then he kind of countered with like an 8th round pick. And I'm surprised he was able to get a 4th rounder for next year after him. So not only did he help himself out this year, he's also getting an extra 4th round pick next year in the keeper league. And so that's, huge. I think it was well done. I mean, there's definitely risk, on both sides, but I think it was a nice even trade. You guys went back and forth and worked it out. So happy to get it done, man. Congratulations. So this is his team now. So he has Lamar, Devon Achane, Monty, AJ Brown, and now Tyreek Hill with Kyle Pitts. Debo moves down now to his flex with Higgins, and then he has McPherson and the Broncos defense. He's 5-1, and he still has Puka on IR.
Nice.
So well done, my guy. Well done.
That should get you there. That should get you there.
Well
so we got the world of Baguzzies. So start Basin or BTJ full PPR.
Ooh, this is why I brought up the schedule this week because I knew someone was going to ask start sit questions here tonight.
Right.
So let's see. We have see, I was ready this time. We have the Patriots at Jacksonville, and that's technically it's in London. I think the Jags stayed there the whole week because then they just play in London. So you have BTJ against the Patriots, Chris Rodriguez. So that might be a little iffy. Mason obviously dealing with that shoulder injury, but if he's a go, he's going up against the Chiefs, who are like the number 1 rush defense right now. I'd probably take my chances on Mason, or I'm sorry, on BTJ. Against Chris Rodriguez. Hopefully he shadows maybe somebody else and not and not BTJ. Maybe he shadows Kirk or Gabe Davis maybe. But yeah.
And on the side note about that London game, somebody suggested or they were mentioning that the team that goes over there and plays and loses should stay in London until they win and win their way back to the U.S.
That's hilarious. Kind of like a writer or like a what do they call that? Not a demotion. What's it called in soccer? Like they have promotion, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
You get demoted. Oh, there's something else. Who's a soccer guys? Let us know in the chat. What's that called?
Yeah. What's that?
Relegation. That's what it is. Relegation. I don't know if anybody put it in the chat.
You'll win your way back into the team or
yeah, you got to win your way
to the US.
That'd be crazy.
So we got Warrior Loft. Hey, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. Would you start a Mary Cooper over Tyreek Hill this week?
Probably.
Moving to a new team.
I mean, you got the Bills going up against the Titans, and then for Tyreek Hill, that's the Dolphins going up against the Colts. Man, they might be able to Hill might be able to just beat the Colts. I think I might take my chances with Hill there. I mean, Titans are a tough defense. Bills are at home. That is a tough one, man. But I think I'd go Tyreek Hill and just kind of see what happens. I don't have really any Tyreek Hill, so I don't really know how he's totally been doing.
Yeah, I think I'd take
without Tua.
Well, he had an off game last week, man.
I mean, I think he's had off games ever since. Actually, he had an on game. 10 targets, finally, 6 catches for 69 yards, which is just crazy to hear for Tyreek. 6 catches for only 69 yards. Usually, you can get 69 yards on one play.
For 69.
Yeah,
that's not a great game.
He's getting, but they've been building some rapport there. They've had
fantasy
the bye
points.
Week. It was 12.9 in full
games
PPR.
since. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's getting better. So there's some rapport building there. Maybe maybe
I'm
they
always
can,
a happy PPR. I don't know what
maybe they can get it. Maybe they can get it together. Maybe Huntley after the bye week can get it together against Indianapolis. They're playing in a dome, so yeah, there we go. So I'll go Hill. I'll go Hill. I'll have Hill ranked higher than Cooper this week, I think. So
I would too. I just don't think Cooper's going to be like learning the playbook that fast and everything else. They'll throw him in there and get a couple.
There's like 9 routes, bro. Like it's not
yeah, I'm still.
They just tell him running on the field.
Some
Josh
chemistry
Allen,
that needs to happen and
run this route or run a hezzy, sluggo, like how it is. Like Christian McCaffrey got off the plane
over
like
Ty
3
Chandler.
touchdown. Yeah, so Cooper over Ty Chandler. If If Aaron Jones sits and we're playing Ty, who do we have? Minnesota's playing the Lions with that banged up front at home coming off their bye, or Cooper. I think I'd go Johnson there or Ty Chandler there. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Chandler.
I would go Chandler too.
All right. Let's see. Ravens.
And he said, "Live trades, do it. Let's get that trade done, man. Come on."
Yeah, we'll work it out. We'll get there. We'll get there. He said Raven said he feels so good about buying Tyreek and HN within the last 2 to 3 weeks. So
right.
What else
we got another one here from the world of Fuguzzies. Here, 2 and 4. What moves am I making? Allen, HN, Brees, London, Reed, McBride, Dell, and benches Olave, Juju, Bigsby, and Goddard. What moves could we be making? So he's got Allen, HN, and Brees. And then he's got London, Reed, McBride, and benches Olave, Juju, Bigsby, and Goddard.
Damn, it sucks that
McBride,
you're 2
you got
like
Reed,
I know why you're
you got
2 and
Drake
4.
London. Yeah.
But that team is good, bro. Like
it's because of Allen. Because Allen's been inconsistent.
Well, because Allen's kind of been up and down. HN's been hurt and lost to Brees is just coming into his own now.
Just
Same thing with
coming
London.
back.
He got off to a slow start. Reed lost Love for however many games.
Yeah.
McBride was out for a concussion and it's just starting to get back.
Good.
Dell's been off to a slow start, coming off, everything we talked about earlier. Olave is obviously out right now. Juju's just breaking out at the moment. Bigsby's just breaking out. And Goddard's only had that one crazy game. So but like all these guys, like these are like this is a nice playoff. Like if you're going into a team in the playoffs, like if you showed me this team, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take that team and see what happens. Like I don't know what you can really do.
I think you just gotta hold on. Right after the injuries, you've had bad situations, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's like nothing you can do.
Just gotta get.
It's just fantasy, man. It's just fantasy worlds. You know what I mean? Like, and
because like, what do you like?
You're
If anything,
you're
treating
not out of it. You're not out of it yet, but like, let's see what happens in another 2 weeks. And at that point, then you might want to start hitting panic mode and start, fire and selling some of these guys out just to try to improve yourself 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if you can maybe like package Olave, Juju, like McBride, and try to get like a CD or someone like that, like a true alpha 1. I mean, maybe you consider Reed your alpha 1 wide receiver, but to me, that's all the team is kind of missing. I just feel like you have a bunch of high end wide receiver 2s, and Olave is obviously like a low end 3 and hurt kind of right now. But yeah, I mean, you have some nice depth. I mean, like maybe taking Dell and Olave and turning that into something. But yeah, man, I don't know. That's tough, man, because that's a good team. So I'll just leave it at that. Let me know what you're due.
You gotta hang tight, man.
Yeah, hit me up. I mean, my DM and all that stuff, all my contact info is in the description. If you want to send me like some screenshots of, the other teams in your league, stuff like that, just like I did with Ravens, helping them through that trade. I have no problem, doing that for you guys. We don't have any like membership fees. I do it all for free. If you send it to me, ask Ravens, I'll sit and talk with you. I'm just that kind of degenerate, man. So send it on over, and I'd love to help you out with the trade, man. We could talk about it next week like we did here with Ravens.
So what else? Just jumped in and said, "What's good, boys?" Just want to throw that in there real quick. We got Dylan here. Dylan Fink is a Thursday Night Football start air sit. Bub means on that full PPR need to start 2 wide receivers and 2 flex. I have Lamb and Odunze on a bye. All options are London, Sutton, Leggett, Means, Shakir, Bateman, Ray Davis if James Cook sits. So
Dylan, I think Fink is maybe how you say that, Dylan Fink. First off, just
that's what I said.
Well, no, I was kind of reading it. I didn't quite hear you. I really appreciate the layout of this question. Like it's like everything's in there. Like, well done. Like, well done asking the question. So hopefully I can give you a good, competent answer here. Do you have any quick take on this one here? 2 wide receivers and 2 flex. Do you want to pick out the 2 wide receivers first?
Yeah, I would say.
I mean, London's the no-brainer to me.
Yeah, I would say London and Sutton. I'm not sure if I would stop Bob Means. Who's quarterbacking over there right now?
Rattler. who had a good game with him last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Maybe they're the twos playing with each other, right?
That's what I was going to say. They're
right?
probably kind of playing with each other. They already have some
the
chemistry.
twos are on the team there. Shakir is hurt, right?
Well, not even necessarily hurt, but they have the addition of Cooper now. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Bateman's had a nice last couple games. He does have Ray Davis if James Cook sits. I think that comes into play more for the flex. So London there for sure. Man, that is so tough with Lamno Dunze on the bench.
I'm going London Sutton.
I think I might take my chance with Means, man.
Go with
I think
Means
I would take my chance with Means. I mean, unless you want to get
Davis.
super crazy and go Leggett or Leggett. I don't know how he's saying it nowadays.
Leggett.
I think it's Leggett.
Leggett? Xavier Leggett? I need to hear those guys pronounce their own damn names.
Yeah.
So you're going with Leggett? I'm going London Sutton.
I'm not going with him for sure because he had a 19-point game in Cincinnati, then played Chicago, which everyone does terrible, 1.8. Played Atlanta, had 11.3. So 4 for 3, played 77% of the snaps, one of his highest of the year, 23 yards and a touchdown, had 1 carry. Or no, that's kick return. Man. But he gets Washington, man. He gets Washington. It's a shootout in Washington.
That's a good matchup right there.
Versus these defenses and a Thursday with all these injuries. I don't know, man. I don't feel, Dylan, full disclosure, I do not feel comfortable with any of these. I could see why you're asking the question. London's a for sure start for me. If I'm looking at this, I think I'm going to go Leggett. I'm going to take my chances with him as my 2 wide receivers. And then if I had to flex anybody else, I'm definitely going to flex Ray Davis if Cooks. That's to me for sure on the table. But if I had to pick 2 other starters out of these guys, I'm probably going to go Bateman and Means, and I probably have Means first. So I would go Means and like Ray Davis if he plays. I just don't know if I totally trust Bateman yet, week to week. Oh, it's so hard to say. And they get the Bucks in Tampa on Monday night. It might be a shootout. Maybe I'll put Bateman first. I'd rather go with the Monday game than the Thursday game. So give me Bateman.
I like Sutton. I don't mind him. London Sutton.
There we go.
Bateman. And then Ray Davis or James Cook.
Well, no, if James Cook sits. He doesn't have
that's
Cook.
what I said. Ray Davis. Oh, he's got Ray Davis. Oh, he doesn't have James Cook. Okay.
Right.
I see what you're saying. So, yeah, obviously you're starting Ray Davis is James Cook 6, so you got that guy. London Sutton, and then I'm going with Bateman. He's going with Means, right? Or Leggett. You going with Leggett?
I don't know. Yeah, because see, Leggett gets Washington. Bateman had 4 for 4 for 71 yards against Washington last week. So Leggett should be able to do something. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Leggett and then Bateman, then Means.
There we go. So we got Tingley coming in here. Hey, yo, should I drop Anthony Richardson? No. Or likely and have Andrews to pick up Kyler. They have Daniels and dropped Kyler. I was playing Fields while AR was out, but he's gone now, and I'm still hesitant on AR.
So you can't drop Fields? Like I would drop Fields for Kyler and just kind of see. Like I would drop Fields over AR for Kyler, and then definitely drop your tight end, especially since you already have Andrews. Definitely, but I wouldn't want to leave Kyler on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
Don't leave.
So I would definitely get rid of Likely, like he mentioned, because you do have Andrews, and Likely had like 1 game, I think 2 games with touchdowns, and that was it. And Andrews will have a little bit more consistency, hopefully, maybe. Because we're trying to sell on that guy anyways. But I would definitely pick up Kyler if you're worried about AR anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So I would definitely get Kyler, and then I would drop Fields likely in that order. I wouldn't drop AR for Kyler. I'd like to have all of them.
Yep.
And see what happens.
I waited too many weeks on selling Jordan Mason.
Ooh, he's still going to be sellable, man. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's all right.
CMC's not coming back anytime soon.
Yeah,
it might be 1 week. You just might have to wait 1 more week to get top.
This dude will recover from his injury before CMC
does. Yeah.
So don't worry about that.
he was trying to get back in that game. You saw he didn't take his helmet off, and he kept like moving his arm around during the game. Like he was trying to get back in.
Yeah, he wanted back in. So
and after Shanahan was like,
that's because that dude wants to get paid. That dude's like trying to get a spot and got to get paid. And if he doesn't stay in San Francisco next year, he'd be like, out.
Let's not talk about that, Frank. I hate how you're always trying to like split.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying it's going to happen. Tingley, do you like Kyler or Darnold better? Kyler easily. To add my question, Darnold is another option I would try to grab too.
Yeah.
I like Darnold, but I would still go with Kyler.
Yeah, it's not bad, but especially if it's 4 point, I don't know if it's 4 or 6 point, but if it's 4 point, definitely Kyler, because he's been running for sure. And my Niners know that all too well, like off the first play of the game. And then if it's 6 point, maybe you lean a little more towards Darnold just because that offense is humming a little bit now.
It's been going
in
good.
that case, maybe you just drop Kyler and Darnold and drop Fields and AR and just roll with that duo instead and just kind of say sayonara to those other guys. But I mean, I would try to at least move on AR first. That'd be like the one time I wouldn't mind kind of holding 3 quarterbacks if you could in a 1 quarterback lead. But you'd have to be looking to sell one of them pretty quick. But if you have like a Likely or somebody else, you can easily just drop and it doesn't really affect your team to hold those 3 quarterbacks until you figure something out. Then you can. But quarterbacks are always tough to sell. So yeah, there we go.
All right. So we got Raven Show. Yo, should I?
Oh, I was just going to say, he was just giving me some props. So I had to throw that out there while you were looking for another question, but you're ready. Go ahead.
I'm not looking right now.
You're good.
Actually, I just started a couple more even. They're trying to get through here. Should I trade Devontae Smith or Deontay Johnson and Bigsby for Cup? Full PPR 10 team.
I would do Deontay and Bigsby before Smith for sure.
Deontay Johnson and Bigsby, package that for Cup. Send it.
I'm good with that.
Nino Pena is a tough situation. Got to drop one between Mooney and Juju. Ooh.
Damn.
Mooney's on fire.
Juju's
doing some things.
Trade, even if you kind of overpay like that trade earlier, but you open up that roster spot that you need. Like before just giving them away to somebody, at least try to get something in return. Like package Mooney and like if you want to hold Juju, package Mooney and somebody else and try to get a better piece than either of those 2 pieces that you're.
I'm not so sure I would want to hold Juju. I have Juju. I picked him up Juju, but that's literally the best game he's had like in a long time.
Yeah, but
and I'm not so sure
the best opportunity he's had in a long time. So
who knows what happens, dude?
Right.
But I'm leaning more on Mooney to hold on to that guy. But like Anthony says, don't just drop a guy. Just throw out trades right now. You still got time before the game starts.
You got days,
trades, and get something done before that happens, man. Definitely don't just drop guys like that. Those guys got value, high value at that.
For sure.
Should I trade away Monty and Pickens for Gibbs and Darnell Mooney, full PPR 12-team sleeper? No, I'm not doing it. I'm picking with Monty and Pickens. I like Mooney because that's what you're improving on. I feel.
Monty and Gibbs are literally the same guy. They're like literally back to back. If you look at their stats,
I like Monty
side by side,
he's got more touchdowns.
If you just look at him side by side, I know because he was asking me this too in the direct in our DM. He also said personally he feels that they gave Gibbs more work down the stretch run last year, so he thinks something might happen similar, just with them maybe having to pass more. Monty does get looks in the pass game, so I just told him, if it's kind of like if that's how you feel, at least you're getting Gibbs, like the guy you think it's gonna, you think is gonna top him, so to speak. But yeah, so Monty's sitting at your RB10 in PPR right now, and Gibbs is sitting at RB13. So Monty's technically better than Gibbs at the moment. So
told you that.
Yeah. So it's what
but
it is.
You are improving with Monty.
To me, it's not enough of a move to kind of just make that lateral move unless you literally just had a bad feeling about Monty or Pickens for whatever reason. Otherwise, if you are trying to upgrade at that wide receiver, I still think Mooney's a little better, so I wouldn't mind taking it. Like, because pretty much Monty and Gibbs are literally a wash. And again, if anything were to happen to Monty, Gibbs is literally a top 2 guy, if that.
Yeah,
maybe 1
overall. Gonna go fire. And he said, "I appreciate the advice, Rasta and Frank here, Frank and Rasta."
Appreciate you.
Frank and Rasta. Did I hear you guys maybe say it? So You'll negotiate a trade between you two live.
We're
on
getting
shit?
to it. We're
Come
getting
on,
to it.
man.
We'll
Come
get
on.
to it.
Like, what's going on here? He's like lagging. He's like doesn't want to get it done.
We'll get to it. I want to get to the
Cam
people first, and then we'll work
Cam
it
the
out.
Ham comes in. Start Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, or Jordan Mason at the flex PPR. Devontae Adams, Cooper,
Adams.
or Jordan Mason. Adams first.
He's going to get like
what's the
15
Mason,
targets.
what's
How
the
many
Mason
targets did
injury?
Garrett Wilson get the other day? 22. That's what Adams going to get this next game. He'll get 23 just to
pepper him, just to like say this is why I brought him in.
This is why I got him. Yeah, it's gonna be. I wouldn't even be surprised if he had like 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
I guess he's still dealing with a shoulder injury, but I don't know. I would lean George Mason if he starts.
Mason does not catch any passes. That's the problem.
Yeah, he doesn't, but he scores touchdowns.
In full PPR. Yeah, he will probably score you a touchdown though.
But as you said, full PPR, I don't know. I'm still worried about Adams just showing up and
Adams
whatever.
can get 10 catches like
No
that.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you trade away McBride and Dell for Scary Terry?
No, not me personally.
That's too much, right?
Yeah. Oh, unless he was. Is this the one where he was trying to open up that roster spot or whatever?
Yeah.
If there was more context to that, maybe, because I think he had Goddard. I mean, I'd prefer not to trade McBride if he didn't have to. And if I'm trading McBride, I want somebody. I don't know if you can.
He's the guy that was doing 2-4. What moves am I making? Atlanta Chain, London, Reed, McBride, Dell, benches, Lobby, Juju Smith. And let me go back to the question.
I would try like Dell and
Would you
Olave.
trade Dell and to get Scary Terry?
Yeah, like I'd rather do like Dell and Olave before McBride. Like I'd still like to keep that because I think he's actually one of the tight ends that's a little more set and forget than everybody else.
Yeah, he's actually flourishing at this point. Almost giving up too much.
Yeah, him and Bowers, right? So like they're top 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah.
And I traded for Bowers.
Man. Yeah, you can't trust.
I'm still so proud of that trade, man. I'm telling you, pat on the back. Waiver wire guy picked him up and traded for Bowers.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. You bastard.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. You don't even watch the show, so it's okay. He said, "Hey guys, should I trade Mason and Kyler for Hurts and Pacheco? I'm 4-2. The other running backs are Barkley and Gibbs. So he's trading away Mason and Kyler for Hurts and Pacheco. Pacheco's out, but when's he coming back?
Maybe not this fantasy season.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm not sure about
redraft,
that.
No.
Is this a redraft? What are you talking here? If it's Dynasty, redraft, no. I would possibly do it, but it's like this guy's going to be placed on IR, out for 6 to 8 weeks. On Pacheco.
And ramp up time, and it's a lower body injury. So yes, and then remember we saw it took Pollard how long to come back from that even, and they went and traded for Hunt, so they're not going to give him a full workload anyway. So I think Pacheco's fantasy value is kind of shot. Like if you had him and you're just stashing him in your IR, like I am in a couple places, like it's worth just kind of keeping him just to see what happens. But like I'm not actively giving away a running back that's putting up like 15 to 20 points a game right now, because CMC might not come back either. And it might be more of a split with CMC playing more of like a third down role type guy instead of a full feature back. So
you said yes, redraft, non-PPR.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that, George.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, especially now that you said that. No.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
He said, or try Mason and Kyler for Hurts and Hill.
Tyreek Hill? Absolutely. Make that happen. Taysom Hill? Not so much. We all like Taysom Hill, but not that much.
I don't like him that much. Yes. Yeah, so I guess we're caught up, done for the night, guys.
Yeah.
We're
not too bad. Minute 38. That's not bad.
And he's saying Tyreek for sure. Yeah, so we're good. Yeah.
All right.
That second one was better. So do that one. Try that. Try this one.
Good stuff.
So yeah, guys, thank you so much for being on here with us tonight.
I mean, do we want to see if we can work something out with this trade here, or you want to just take that off air, or what do you want to do? You want to spend a couple? Well, obviously, I'm not. If I would have accepted it, I would have accepted it already. So it's not going to be as is. But I haven't even had a chance really to look at it again to see. I don't even know what my initial offer was to you.
Professional Listeners League. Which one are we on?
It's a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, the Extraordinary.
Yeah.
Guys, yeah.
So
look at your team here. What are we doing? Man?
So I have Murray, Barkley, Montgomery, and then some other fodder, Sermon, Chandler, Spears. Not bad, but still there. My wide receivers are Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, Lad McConkey, Xavier Leggett. I still don't know on that. I'm going to keep saying both until I know. Marvin Harrison Jr., who I have out this week. I have Jalen Waddle still sitting there, and I did pick up Pop Douglas this week. So I like my wide receiving core. But I mean,
I know you're a Niner fan.
You put Ayuk on the block, so I mean, I at least I had to try to shoot my shot. So I think what was my initial offer? I think McConkey and Waddle.
Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah, I think it was McConkey and Waddle, which I was surprised you didn't take because you don't really have that much wide receiver.
I just don't really like Waddle at all.
But you don't like Ayuk either.
Well, I
you don't like McConkey?
Can't stand Ayuk at this point. He's going to be on one of those I don't touch him ever again lists.
Right.
I'm just done with him.
Yeah, you did draft him heavy.
As much as I drafted him as much and everything else, it was like, he finally got signed and he had one decent game. That's it. And then he couldn't even keep it consistent. I started him the next week after that. Wow. I just don't feel I'm not comfortable with him. I know that you're a fan of him or whatever. He's your team guy. But
I mean, you know me, dude. I usually don't have any Niners players for the most part. I usually trying to stay away from them because I don't want to have that feeling that you just had towards my own team. So I kind of and if I'm playing against them and they beat me, it's like, well, of course they're going to beat me because it's a Niner, and I don't mind losing that way.
And this is my team that I just stacked up on the Cowboys, anyways, just for fun.
Yeah, you got Dowdle, Lamb, Dak.
I got Dak and CD Lamb. So I triple stack the whole team. Not that you guys should do this, but
you're quadruple stacked. You have Ferguson, Dak,
Ferguson,
Lamb, and Dowdle. You're full on Cowboys fan in this league.
Yeah.
So
it's not what you should be doing. I just did it for fun. It's a fun, I pay for this.
This is a real money league, and there's a ring on the line.
Yeah, and that's still for fun for me. It's still I have other leagues that are more money, though. You know what I mean? It's still fun for me. I just wanted to do it one time just to see if it worked out, and then we have these terrible games happening. And some weeks it's boom or bust on my team. Some games is bam, and it's everybody's on fire. The next week everybody's dumpster fire.
All right.
But I do want to move on them. I got Josh Downs starting right now, Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Still running backs are Joe Mixon, Ken Walker, and Tank Bisbee in my flex. I picked up Isaiah Correndo. Just to see what happens with that guy and the Mason situation that we're talking about right now. The shoulder, I might put him into the flex. I still need to move on to tight end here because something's going to happen. That's why I'm trying to move on. You got a tight end? What you got? Maybe you got a tight end.
I only have Andrews. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody we're not even trying to grab or move on, but who knows?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and that's the only guy too, so it's kind of rough on that part. So yeah, I'm just looking for somebody I don't know.
So here's my thing.
That's how I was trying to get him.
I'm not giving up BTJ.
You're already on the whole wide receiver situation anyway. So
yeah. So here, I'll talk it out and see if we can even come to something. So my top three, it is a 3 wide receiver, 1 flex league. I like to flex out 4 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison is my 1. I would say right now, I drafted Waddle as my 2, but right now BTJ is my 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have Waddle and Cooper and Watson. Those are the guys that I'm those are my 4. Those are my dogs. My depth is McConkey, Leggett, and Douglas. I know I have to give you one of my 4 plus one of these bench guys for Ayuk. I'm willing to do that if that makes sense. But I'm not willing to give BTJ. Obviously, Marvin Harrison's out of the question. So it came down to Waddle and Watson. I thought you would like Waddle better than Watson, which is why I offered Waddle first. So I didn't know you weren't feeling Waddle as much.
No,
Would you consider Watson and McConkey for Ayuk?
Mm.
And I love Watson. I have him
No, he's injured though right now.
He's not injured. He just scored a 40-yard touchdown or whatever it was this last week. It's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
He's gonna be all right.
Wicks is the one who got hurt. That
How about one of these running backs you got going on here?
I mean, I'm open to a running back. Obviously, not Barkley or Montgomery.
No, I know
They
that.
both had their buys on week 5.
Not even messing with
barring
those guys.
injury.
He's not even.
Yeah.
He's not in that realm, anyways.
I'm like, barring injury, barring injury, like I don't really need another running back for the rest of the year in this league. I mean, I assume one of them might miss a game here or there, but so like in that case, again, I mean, I have Spears, Chandler, and Sermon. I don't know if you really want any of that though. Like really, Chandler would be the only one you might be able to use him this week.
Yeah.
And if anything happens with Jones long term, then
Pollard's just like holding it steady down there over Tennessee. Oh,
yeah, with
Chandler.
Spears. So I mean, are you okay with McConkey? Like, I think he's a nice piece. He's that steady Eddie kind of consistent type, guy in full PPR. He's definitely, coming up, has a good schedule, and then has a good playoff schedule, Tampa Bay and Denver at home, but gets at New England week 17, which is a little tough.
That's tough, yeah, but that's all right. I mean,
but who knows? Yeah,
we can deal with that. Sometimes those kind of games actually.
Yeah, and he's the slot guy, so that's actually kind of a good thing because he's not running deep down the field. So,
yeah, I could take that.
So I mean, I think McConkey's like even the best piece I can get, and then it's a matter of Watson or Waddle. And I would hope that would get the deal done, giving you the 2-for-1.
Let's say Watson.
You really gonna take Watson from me? I mean, I
like
guess
Watson better.
Now, of course, there is the counter that you sent me, which is Cooper for Ayuk just straight up,
which I felt was decent. That way, I don't have to drop anybody because then I have to drop one of my guys and
on top of trying to find somebody still for Ferguson, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which puts me in an even worse situation because now
you have
literally just on a buy this week. It's like what? These guys are still watching. Hey, this is how we work out the trade, though, man.
They're all watching it. Oh, okay, I wasn't sure they were even
still figuring out. Are these gonna do this trade or what? Like, let's do Amari, man, straight up.
I love Watson, bro.
Yeah, let's keep Watson. Then give me Amari, straight up, dude.
Like, he could be like way better than Ayuk.
He could be, or he could not be.
That's tough, man. What do you guys think in the chat? You guys think I should do McConkey and Watson or Cooper straight up?
He said, I'm intrigued. So, yeah. So is it a 2-for-1 or just Cooper straight up?
Straight up. Man, what do we do?
It's just hard for me because if you do give me the 2-for-1, what am I going to do? Like, I have to drop, like, Roshan Johnson, like, basically, or somebody like that. Like, oh, there you go. Oh, you're on the phone anyway, so you could put up the trade offer right now.
Yeah, so...
What do you guys think? Come on, give us an opinion here. There's 10 guys watching. Somebody's going to be having some thoughts on this. Should I go for the 2-for-1? I think Amari and Ayuk is a fair trade.
Man, that's tough.
I'll send it to you.
You already have it. It's already here.
Yeah. See, there you go. Screen. All the more reason. Just click on accept and we'll be done. We're close out.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, see, look, Cooper straight up seems the best. All right, that's why I offered that. Because I literally, dude, I can't. What am I gonna do? Like, I literally have to take the 2-for-1, then drop some guy that I just picked up, and I still have to go figure out how to replace Ferguson.
I don't care about all that. I'm playing against you. Like, I don't care about any of that. That has no bearing on my side of the trade. I honestly don't even care what you have to do.
No, I get you.
Before or after the trade. I'm helping you out by getting a guy off your roster that you hate. You're taking someone from my roster that I drafted that I liked. I could have drafted Ayuk, but I drafted Cooper. I passed on Ayuk for all those reasons. So we weren't in this situation.
But he might be going off now. You know, right? He's straightening this stuff out.
He could. I don't know, man. I guess for the sake of the show, and I'm freaking like 1-5 in this league anyway.
Yeah.
So although I needed to switch up, which I got to switch up, basically I got a trade in real life that made a trade in my lineup without me having to actually make a trade with anybody. And now I'm just giving that away to you, and you're not even giving me anything else on top of that. Oh, I don't know, Frank. I don't know.
Should we add somebody else then? Is that what you need?
I don't know. Let's see. But there's really nobody else that makes sense. Well, you do have your London and Mooney. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you want to split that up, right? You don't want to be starting those guys.
I'm literally starting both of them.
I'm starting. I mean, now you sound like me starting Chase and Higgins and Puka and Cup last year. Hey, if it ain't broken, they're putting up points.
Sometimes you just got to do it.
Hey, I always have that adage. Hey, if someone else is going to start them on their team, why can't I start them on my team? Just
see Watson and Ladd for Ayuk. I like the Ayuk side. That's kind of how I feel, man. But I do like Ladd and Watson, though. Don't get me wrong. I like the opportunities that they have. Watson has a very high ceiling, but I'll be injured, and it's just with Love, you don't know who's going to be the guy that week, and it's been like that many teams that have good sets of wide receivers over there that they can pick and choose who's a hot hand for that week.
What about
I think
London?
that makes the most sense.
What about London? What about this? What about Ayuk and London for Cooper and Watson?
Cooper.
Yeah, Mari Cooper, the one you wanted.
Oh, Mari Cooper and Watson? No. I don't want to give up London.
So Mooney then?
No, I don't want to give up either one of those guys. I like them. They're scoring good for me, man. Like they're.
That's the whole point. I mean, I'm not giving you guys who aren't scoring. You're still getting guys who are scoring.
No. I can't do that.
He can't do that.
No, I can't do that. Tell you the best offer is that one, dude. I tell you, I think it's fair for both of us.
The best offer for you.
Well, I think it's fair for both of us is what I'm trying to get at.
3 for 4, 68, touchdown, 15 points. Gets Houston, Jacksonville, Detroit, Chicago there. Man.
He's like 10, 8. He's got 2 zeros in there, a 15. Houston, Jacksonville, Detroit by in week 9. What's this playoff schedule look like? Detroit, Seattle, New Orleans, Minnesota. That's not too bad.
I don't know, Frank. I don't know, man.
Just hit that accept button. We'll be calling it a night.
What if I did this? What if I threw in McConkey as well? Cooper, Watson, and McConkey for London and Ayuk.
What am I doing, though? I got to drop off half the team over here.
You could drop Garindo, man. He ain't playing. And Roshan Johnson. Come on, Roshan Johnson. You don't need Roshan Johnson.
I know.
Ladd McConkey is way better than Roshan Johnson. Like getting Ladd for Roshan is way better.
The only problem is I had like no running back depth at all.
You have Mixon, Walker, and Dowdle. I only have Barkley and Montgomery and Chandler. Like no one has running back depth right now. No one has running back depth right now.
That again. What do you got there?
What up, Tycoon? It says you are popping in at the end. Like the show literally technically is over. Frank and I are in a real live trade negotiation right now, and the folks in the chat wanted us to keep the trade, just have us talk about the trade right now. So that's where we're at. So yeah, Ladd's definitely better.
Cooper's got a question coming in, but we'll answer you last here. Don't worry about it, Cooper. We'll get to you. We're trying to get this trade done.
Well, let him. I'll answer the questions. You need to take on.
No, I need to look at who you're
screen
looking
over here. Yeah.
Send it this way. What, can you read it?
You want me to actually counter with it?
No, just read it to me here.
All right. So we
can't
have.
Even see that. It's like super small.
Oh, you're good. All right. So Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk and Drake London for Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, and Ladd McConkey, and then you would be dropping Roshan for that. It gives you a little more depth at wide receiver.
Let's do it. Okay.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
All right. Let me send trade. Oh man, my heart's hurting right now to send Christian Watson away.
Yeah. It's gonna be like I'm dropping Roshan.
Oh, I didn't know it says good luck to you when you send the trade like that online.
Oh,
so
I didn't know either.
Yeah, the only guy on the trade block in the league. So let's see. So this is my team here. It was my team because it's done. So we just did it. So yeah, so my
guys,
team.
I gotta drop a guy here.
Yeah, which is Roshan, right? So let me. I have guys in my IR who aren't eligible for my IR anymore. All right, we'll figure that out later. But yeah, so good stuff, Frank. Let's get a GIF handshake in there. Let's get one of these going.
Get one of those superpowers one. Where's the superpowers?
I always like this the wrestling, the Hulk and Macho Man's always a good one.
And the Macho Man. That's what I'm saying. The superpowers handshake.
Or I like this one from Community. That's always a good one. There's the all right. I always like this one's a good one. We like that one. We like that one. All right, so good stuff, man. Good stuff. So we did it. Drake London is now on my team. I don't know how I feel about that. And Ayuk's on my team. I don't know how I feel about that. I gave away Watson, Lad, who I know Tycoon loves. And Raven says, damn, looking at the whole roster now, Rasta fleece Frankie. So I'm kidding. Yeah. You got to talk shit right after a trade. That's always good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
When I traded guys to Anthony, they get injured.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So just full disclosure, and Tycoon knows this as well, too. Anybody that has Brandon Ayuk and Drake London, go ahead and sell them now because probably not going to do anything on my team now that I have them. So, but I needed it, man. I'm hurting in this league. Like, I feel like I have a good team, but I'm kind of like, what's his name up there?
It's not Fleece, but besides trading away Lad, I want Ross to side. Yeah, London's good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely good. And obviously, Cooper can be good with Allen over there. And then I still think Watson's, I mean, you know, my feelings about that. So that what's funny is like Watson was way harder to give away to me than McConkey. But yeah, there we go. Tycoon says, I can't believe Frank and At made a trade like either of them, let alone together live on the air. So hopefully you guys like that, man.
We trade like at least once a year, man.
At least, yeah.
During the
draft.
We
traded in a draft one time, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I think that was Aaron Rodgers was actually involved in that trade, wasn't it?
Which went off
he killed it.
It was the worst thing ever.
That was his MVP year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy.
And he went crazy.
It was my worst trade ever with that. And then it was like every other trade with that was always like, oh, you know, again, the guys get injured, they get for a week, or vice versa. Sometimes they trade away for me, and like the guy goes down for the rest of the year. It's always catastrophic. It's never like a good thing
right?
Like one way or the other. It like happens often though too.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then, what did we answer that guy's question though that he had in there?
Cooper? Go back to it. I was just gonna say, we'll go back to
it. BTJ and Gibbs and Wilson for Amon-Ra, Bijan, and McBride. So Brian Flores Jr.
BTJ, Gibbs, and Wilson. Wilson who? Which Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh, Garrett Wilson.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
I did that to Classic Mike the other day. I was like, what Wilson are you talking about? Russell Wilson? Michael Wilson? He's like, no, Garrett Wilson. I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? All right. So BTJ, I already know you're probably going to say no. Like you want the BTJ side. BTJ, Gibbs, and Garrett Wilson for Amon-Ra, Bijan, and McBride. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would do that probably in a heartbeat, especially if you're hurting at tight end.
Yeah.
Like, because basically BTJ for McBride, you got Gibbs for Bijan, and then Garrett Wilson for Amon-Ra. So you're literally upgrading everywhere except for if you want to consider Gibbs a downgrade from Bijan. But technically he's been playing better than Bijan right now. So I think it's pretty decent trade, actually. But I definitely would rather have the Amon-Ra, Bijan, and McBride side. So Cooper, make that happen. And there you go. And Tycoon agrees with you 100%. Make that trade.
There you go. And this is where I've got Kincaid at tight end, so it's not the worst. Yeah, you're doing all right.
Oh, and now you're gonna have McBride and Kincaid. Now you might be able to flip Kincaid or flip McBride. Like if you know Cooper being there maybe unlocks Kincaid a little bit. We didn't really talk about that, but oh, is he really RB7 now? Man, he's like a creeper RB7.
Yeah, he's just sliding into those. It's like nobody even noticed.
Yeah, like last time I checked, he was like RB like 15 or something weird. That's why we're like, buy him. RB7 after this last game. It's because he finally why can't I just let me click the player? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Oh well.
Filtered over here.
Yeah, and Tycoon says
Bijan, yeah, he's RB7.
Damn.
Swift is 9.
Good stuff.
Who was the other one? Gibbs is down at 13.
Go get it. Go get it done,
full
man.
PPR. That's full PPR right there. So
go get it done. And I wanted to come back to this comment by Tycoon, and obviously Tycoon, make sure you guys check out the Fantasy Boardroom. Tuesday is here. On Get Right Fantasy Network, and make sure you guys subscribe to Tycoon's direct channel as well, the Fantasy Boardroom. Links are in the description. But he said, for those of you who have never played or attempted to trade with these gents, it's quite the event here. So, yeah. But what's funny though is Frank and I actually, like, it might be hard to trade with us like outsiders, but like for me and Frank, because our opinions a lot of the time differ so much on players, it's actually fairly easy for us to trade, because like Frank will get in these moods like with Ayuk where he's just like, don't want him.
Fuck that guy.
And he's like, as long as I get anything like that I like, I'll take it. Like, he doesn't care about trade charts. He doesn't care about value. Doesn't care about rest of the season. He's just like, this guy's not on my team. Yeah, he's like, don't even care. Like,
feeling him.
Yeah, and so I've acquired Jamal Charles and AJ Green,
who went down.
And our two biggest trades we've ever done in our main home league that we've had for 20 plus years. And those are the two ones that stick out big time. Yeah. And that set up the whole Roster Reaper name that I have, is because I trade for those guys. As soon as I trade Frank, those guys go down like the next week. And AJ Green didn't even make it into practice. Like, he got hurt in practice, like not even a game. Like, we're talking practice. Like, we traded on Tuesday. He got hurt on Thursday practice.
Career, bro.
And it was the end of his career. Like, he never played again. Like, he never played for the Bengals again. And then he just
so high, like at his peak. It was like that's
like, if you want to talk about like the best sell high ever, it's Frank got me on that one big time. So anyway, and then he said at least once a year. But this is once a year though for like 20 plus years that we've been doing this. So
yeah.
That's a lot of trades over the years.
Yeah,
per league. Per league.
Too many people corrupted by rankings and trade calculations. Plays like I know it's awesome. Yeah, I do.
For sure.
That's how I play by feel, man. A lot of it is my takes. Is I look at the teams I play. I watch a lot of games, and I'm I got to see it. Got to see it before.
Yeah.
I'm not
definitely
a projection
eye test guy. Yeah,
I'm an you got to pass the eye test with the guy. I don't know the projection smashes, man. All these rookies they got to come in here and do this. I don't like drafting.
Either will it or he won't. I'll tell you. Let me look him in his eyes, and I'll tell you if he will or won't.
Exactly.
Take your A-dot and your and all this stuff out of the way. All right, good stuff, man. All right, so we hit the 2-hour mark, but that was fun. We got a trade done for you guys here on the trade show. So there we go.
Making trades is the ball knowledge is God intended. Perfect.
Yep. Exactly.
That being said, that's how we're gonna end up for the night. Let's go.
For sure. Frank the Tank. That's what we got to end on. All right, man. I appreciate you guys for even staying for this, man. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully you work something out. And again, that was not pre-rehearsed. That was all actually live. We didn't pre-set that up or already have it agreed to or anything. That was actually us negotiating in real time. I mean, I'm sure if it was not on air,
that's a lot more players than I'm used to trading now.
Yeah, we would have probably gone back and forth a little more. I don't think we maybe would have come to it that easy, but it is real nice when you're just like sitting face to face with somebody and just say this guy, that guy, that, instead of going back and forth and you're in the middle of work or whatever, that it was nice to just hammer that out. Yeah. In person. So, and we know each other. So it's like, we're not getting over on each other. We've been playing together too long. So, so good stuff, man. So, what else we got here? Let me stop sharing the screen here. We'll go back to full screen, take this banner off, get a little production going back to the show here to end this thing. Again, we appreciate you guys. All of us here over at Get Right Fantasy. See, we got the music going a little bit in here. Okay, see, like kind of play that up a little bit. It was a little too low. So we'll get this thing ended, man. So from all of us here at Get Right Fantasy, we got, of course, Classic Mike, who'll be back here on Fridays with Start Sit. Of course, Tycoon, who was here in the chat with us, man. Of course, our boys Kendall and Phil. And then, of course, Dustin, my brother-in-law, man. Hopefully we'll get you on a show here soon. Of course, for my boy Frank here, as always, truly appreciated, man. I love being here with you on Mondays and Wednesdays. With the guy who got me into fantasy football and maybe into this monster that I am. I don't know if I thank you or shun on you for this. I don't know. But no, man, I
trying to fish in that much.
Right? Well, you kind of did there for a while. I just ended up moving the desert. There was no water anywhere to be found.
Yeah, nowhere.
So that's what put a stop to that. Yeah. So anyway, man. So like Tycoon says, man, anyone out there, man, that hasn't subscribed or hit that like button, man, please do that for us. It really helps us out with the algorithms and it continues to help us grow. Just more people here in the Get Right community, man. We just want to help you guys win some championships, man, and have fun doing it. So, Hopefully we'll see you guys back here on Friday. Of course, make sure you check out. I don't know if Phil actually has his stream tomorrow. I know he's not feeling too well, which is why he wasn't live today. And I know he's heading to the Bay Area for the San Francisco Kansas City game this weekend. So I don't know if he'll have his show tomorrow, but he might squeeze it in. So we'll see. So just stay tuned, have those notifications turned on. Frank, anything else you want to say before we get out of here, my guy?
Shoot, I'm going to Reno this weekend for my birthday, man. That's what's up.
I know. Happy birthday, man, my guy.
It's coming up next week, man.
What is it? The 21st, right?
22nd.
22nd. Yeah. Damn it. I was off a day. Should know. I've been here for
right.
like literally
It's
like half my life.
right.
I know it's around now. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
I'm just heading out to have a good weekend. Hopefully that all pans out for me here.
Oh, for sure, man. Enjoy that. Enjoy it. All right, man. So other than that, man, happy birthday to you. And then when it's your birthday, that means mine's coming around the corner here pretty soon. Big 4-0, man. Everybody's saying happy birthday to you there. So there you go. So yeah, enjoy it, man. Otherwise, everybody else, we'll see you back here on Friday for Start Sit. Again, from all of us here at Get Right, man, good luck, and we'll see you on Friday.
White fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided.